Welcome to the August 12th, 2025 City Council meeting, 6:30 City Council Chamber. We'll start with the prayer. Dear God, today as the session opens, we pray that your presence will be before us and everyone who serves in the decision-making process of our city. We pray for direction, which will lead our city to be strong and unified. May we continue the legacy of our founders. May we be granted this day the wisdom to make decisions which will be for the good of our city. We also pray for your special blessing on all those who are working to transform our city and make it a better place to live and work. Amen. Join me in saluting the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Council Mercier.
Here.
Council Noon.
Here.
Council Robinson.
Here.
Mayor Rourke. Here. Council Scott.
Here.
Council Yem.
Here.
Council Belanger.
Here.
Council Chow.
Here.
Council Dakota.
Here.
Council Gitchia.
Here.
Council Janess.
Here.
That's 11 present.
Moment of silence. Council Mercier.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to offer a moment of silence in darkened chamber for James W. Haley, a prominent figure in Greater Lowell real estate. Jim was the cherished husband for over 47 years to Eileen Shanahan Haley, who survives him. Jim was a graduate of Salem High School, class of 1959. Jim continued his education at Bentley University and later Lee Institute for Real Estate, where he earned his his brokerage license. Jim began his career with Stop and Shop supermarkets, spending 20 years managing stores on the North Shore before relocating to Lowell, where he met his beloved wife, Eileen. Jim was an accomplished real estate broker for 55 years. He worked at Dickie Lapine's real estate for over 29 years until his passing. He was a past president of the Northeast Association of Realtors and the Greater Lowell Landlord Association. Beyond his professional life, Jim was a strong supporter of local organizations, including Owl Diner Charities, the Lowell Lodge of Elks, and the Duville Manor Men's Guild. He received several prestigious awards from the Northeast Association of Realtors, which is NEAR, including Realtor of the Year in 2001, the Random Act of Kindness Award in 2011, and the Distinguished Service Award in 2015. In 2023, Lowell Irish Inc. honored him with the Irish Person of the Year Award. Besides his wife, Jim is survived by his 5 children, James Haley Jr., Cheryl Haley, Kerry Peasley, Kathleen Haley, and Kaylee Haley. He also leaves behind 6 cherished grandchildren. Jim is also survived by his sister-in-laws, Maureen McNiff, Shayla McEnvoy, Tommy and Mary Beth Shanahan, Patrick and Mary Beth Shanahan, and many nieces and nephews. We offer our condolences to his family, relatives, and many friends. I'd also like to offer a moment of silence in darkened chamber for all those who passed away since our last City Council meeting. May they all rest in peace. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any others? I want to thank Councilor Mercia for doing that for Jim. Haley's and the Shanahans are basically family members of the Rorks, and very sad to see him go, and we appreciate the kind words, Councilor. Mr. Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I had a privilege and opportunity to work with Jim in the real estate business in Drake when I first started many years ago. Very kind and took me on under his wing and teach me the way how to do it correctly. So we will all miss him very much.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, please document the chamber. May you rest in peace. Section 2, Mayor's Business 2.1, Communication for Remote Zoom Participation. Motion to accept the place on file by Councilor Belanger, second by Councilor Chow. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 2.2, Citation, Councilor Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Times have changed significantly in the city, and as we're all aware, as you just mentioned, Owl Diner, Cameo Diner, there's not many Fitzy's, not many neighborhood staples left. I'm fortunate in Centerville to met a family that has been a neighborhood staple for quite some time with the Cameo Diner. It's a multi-generational business now that started with Senior and passed on to Junior and his family. So on behalf of the council and the mayor, I'd like to read a citation that we have acknowledging their dedication to the city, to Centerville, and to the thousands and thousands of hungry people. There.
Are they here? Who is here? Please come to the podium.
Please, can I have the family come to the podium?
Scotty, or to
Hello, everybody. This is totally unexpected, so I haven't any prepared words. But we helped establish the Cameo back in 1980, and we carried on from the Laganis family, and we've been there for 45 years. My son, Scott Jr., his wife, Jenny. The boss. They have carried on where Jan and I left off. My wife passed away 5.5 years ago. She was, everybody disliked me, but they all liked Jan, and that's why they came here. And the way in which our diner has responded to the city, we like to think of ourselves as one of the little ambassadors, one of the little guys that helped shape the city into what it is today, not just the big guys that are here. And we're very proud of that. And Scotty and Jenny carry that tradition on and will continue that as long as they can. And in the meantime, I go down and have a good breakfast several days a week and still help on the drill a couple of days a week. So to the residents in the community, we welcome you, and that's one thing that I think the public feels when they come to our diner is we don't see dollar signs, we see people. And they feel welcome for that reason, and they feel very comfortable there. And I just want to thank Corey and everybody else on the council for their acknowledgement of our time in Lowell. And we thank you. It's a long time. Very much.
Please, I'd like to read the citation. Don't go away yet. And
Scotty.
I'd like to read the citation, and we also have something else as a surprise after the citation. But as you said, coming in the front door of the Cameo Diner, it's a place where the neighborhood and people have the opportunity to sit down, put your phone down or do whatever and have a conversation. It's one of the few places left, so thank you for that. And the citation goes as follows. In recognition of more than a century of serving the Centerville community with warmth, tradition, and dedication, established in 1905, the Cameo Diner has been a beloved gathering place where good food and great company meet. In 1980, Scott Conant Sr. and his wife Janice took ownership and built upon its legacy, making the diner a welcoming space for all. Their son Scott Jr. grew up within its walls, learning the values of hard work, hospitality, and community connection. In 2008, Scott Jr. and his wife Jen revived and reopened the diner, staying true to its original spirit while adding new touches to the menu and continuing the tradition of making every customer feel at home. Today, with their daughter Chloe lending a hand, Cameo Diner remains a proud family-run establishment where guests, whether first-time visitors or lifelong patrons, are welcomed as friends. Beyond serving meals, the family is continually giving back to Centerville, supporting local teams, providing for neighborhoods in need, and fostering the sense of belonging that defines this community. Now, therefore, I, Councilor Robinson, on behalf of Mayor Daniel Rourke and the rest of my colleagues on the City Council, hereby extend our deepest appreciation, and we're proud to honor and recognize Cameo Diner for its many years of service to the Lowell community. The city recognizes Cameo Diner as a true Centerville treasure, given this 12th day of August 2025. Thank you very much.
Councilor Robinson?
So, above and beyond the citation, something that was discussed and thought about is, as many are aware, Centerville will be seeing its first construction of the first splash park, where, like the Cameo Diner, families will be able to gather. So I'd like to make the motion that we name that splash park after Senior and his wife, if possible, please, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Second.
Second by Councilor Mercier. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Counsel Mercier.
Yes.
Counsel New.
Yes.
Counsel Robinson.
Yes.
Counsel Mayor Rourke.
Yes.
Counsel Scott.
Yes.
Counsel Yem.
Yes.
Counsel Belanger.
Yes.
Counsel Chow.
Yes.
Counsel Kokoto.
Yes.
Counsel Getchia.
Yes.
Counsel Janess.
Yes.
11 yeas.
Thank you all very much. Thank you. We'll see you soon. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I may,
Councilor Jenness, please.
I just want to take a quick moment just to say thank you to you guys. The Cameo Diner will always be a special place for me because on September 13th, 2014 is the day my wife and I got married. Before we got married, that morning we went and had breakfast at the Cameo. So every time I drive by, I think of that breakfast. And you know, I'm sure that I'm not the only one who has those kind of special moments.
Thank you.
Thanks to a business like you. So thanks for being there, and I hope that many others will have similar experiences. Thank you.
Councilor Dakota.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Before you leave, though I've lived in the Highlands for 34 years, I grew up the first 18 years of my life in Centerville and used to frequent the Cameo Diner. And a truer statement couldn't have been made. Your wife was a very lovely lady, and we were very scared of you going there. So just wanted to say that.
Council, not to pick on you, but you said 34 years in the Highlands and your first 18 in Centerville. There's no way you're 53 years old. There's no way. You lost a decade there somewhere, but just wanted to say. It's right, yeah. Conan family, thank you very much. Thank you for your work to Lowell. Thank you so much. I need a motion to accept that and place it on file by Councilor Robinson, second by Councilor Scott. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. Section 3, City Clerk. 3.1, minutes of the City Council Public Safety Subcommittee, July 22nd. City Council regular meeting, July 22nd for acceptance by Councilor Getchia, second by Councilor Jenness. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 3.2, a vote to cancel the council meeting on 8/26/25. Motion to accept by Councilor Yem, seconded by Councilor Dakota. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Yes.
Council Noon.
Yes.
Council Robinson.
Yes.
Mayor Rourke.
Yes.
Council Scott.
Yes.
Council Yem.
Yes.
Council Belanger.
Yes.
Council Chow.
Yes.
Council Dakota.
Yes.
Council Getchia.
Yes.
Council Jenness.
Yes.
11 years.
Mr. Mayor?
We have a number of items to take out of order, so we'll start with Councilor Jenness and then Councilor Scott. Councilor Belanger. Councilor Jenness, go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to take 8.5 out of order, please, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Jenness, second by Councilor Mercier, take 8.5 out of order. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 8.5 is a vote. Authorizing the city manager to execute a license agreement with Project Learn. A motion to adopt by Councilor Getchia, second by Councilor Jenness.
There is a registered speaker, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Clerk.
LZ Nunn.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Councilors, and City Manager and team. On behalf of our citywide placemaking initiative, Art Up Lowell, Project Learn is proud to submit this application for your consideration, Loom and Legacy by Allison Human, which will be installed September 2025, so in just a few weeks. So this highly anticipated project will be part of our 20th mural installation in the city of Lowell, marking a significant milestone for Art Up Lowell and the city of Lowell. And our board and team is really thrilled to have this opportunity and to have this piece in such a prominent and beautiful location, right across from Miko Kaufman's very important sculpture, which is a classic in Market Mills Park. And this tribute to mill girls really paying respect to Lowell's 19th century history and the contributions these women made to the prosperity of our city. The piece will also serve as a strategic connection point between the Art Up Lowell Public Art Trail by linking these murals across the Pawtucket Canal, including Dream Hunt Make by the Derby Street murals and Derby Park murals and Rayo Feliz to those located throughout the TDI district in Lowell, such as El Sonida de Mi Patria, which is the Sophia's mural in the Acre. We're really excited about which students designed and created. And also The Bee by Felipe Ortiz. These projects and the legacy they've created wouldn't have been possible without the essential funding that Art Up Lowell received through the City of Lowell's ARPA Public Art Grant. So we so appreciate all of your support and passion for this work. And received it in 2023, and the endless support of our community has also made it possible. So we're so grateful for this partnership and look forward to collaborating on ways to build on and amplify this work in the future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Counsel Mercia.
Yes.
Counsel Noon.
Yes.
Counsel Robinson.
Yes.
Mayor Rourke.
Yes.
Counsel Scott.
Yes.
Counsel Yem. Counsel Belanger.
Yes.
Counsel Chow.
Yes.
Counsel Dakota.
Yes.
Counsel Getchia.
Yes.
Counsel Janice.
Yes.
11 yeas.
Council Scott.
Take 7.6.
7.6 out of order by Council Scott, seconded by Council Young. All in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 7.6. We have a communication, appointment of new members to various boards and commissions. Read them all at once.
Yeah.
Pursuant to your authority vested in the city manager, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have Jack Moynihan, Paul Memorial Library Board of Trustees. Tatiana Tomby, Associate Member of Paul Memorial Library Board of Trustees. Christopher St. Croix, Associate Member of Paul Memorial Library Board of Trustees. Michael Peoples, Veterans Commission. Robert Suravac, Veterans Commission. And Pamela Underwood for the License Commission. The motion to adopt, Councilor Dakota, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Counsel Mercia.
Yes.
Counsel Noon.
Yes.
Counsel Robinson.
Yes.
Mayor Rourke.
Yes.
Counsel Scott.
Yes.
Counsel Yem.
Yes.
Counsel Belanger.
Yes.
Counsel Chow.
Yes.
Counsel Dakota.
Yes.
Counsel Getchia.
Yes.
Counsel Janice.
Yes.
11 yeas.
Mr. Manager, any of those appointees here this evening? Oh. Ms. Underwood, say a couple words. Yeah, Mr. Suravac as well, too.
Absolutely. My name is Pamela Underwood, and I want to thank the city manager, Mayor Rourke, and the entire city council. I look forward to serving on this committee. Thank you.
Hi, Michael Peoples. I just want to thank every one of you for the Memorial Day ceremony that we had. It was very moving. I'm really looking forward to working with this committee after the Memorial Day ceremony. Thank you all very much.
Awesome. Thank you. And Council Belanger.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to take item number 6.24 out of order.
Council Belanger, seconded by Council Chow, to take motion 624 out of order. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 6.24 by Councilors Belanger, Getchia, and Mercia. Request city manager work with the Department Department for the installation of concrete sidewalks as opposed to asphalt for purposes of lower maintenance costs and heat island reduction. Who wants to go first? Council Belanger, good.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You know, there is a rather large municipal project going on at Douglas Road that really is going to serve a lot of common good in that neighborhood for sure. But Douglas Road is the gateway into Colley Stadium in particular, which is heavily traveled and heavily visited. And seeing that new sidewalks are going to be installed, I think it's in the long run cost prohibitive to install concrete sidewalks. I think it's aesthetically much better for the neighborhood and the abutters. It's less in the long run. That cost might be slightly higher, although anywhere from 10 to 15% higher to install concrete. But in the long run, and that comes back with lower maintenance costs. You know, this sidewalk connects the Riley School to Colley Stadium to Andover Street. That's going to be heavily traveled. Heavily walked. There's no doubt in my mind, especially with the project going on at the Riley School playground, that $1 million investment. As I canvass, the kids in the children are just ecstatic. They want to drive by daily just to get an update to look and see. So I have no doubt this area is going to be highly walked and highly utilized. And I think it's in the best interest of the city and the neighborhood in the long run, again, to install concrete rather than asphalt. For a cost-prohibitive measure, for starters. And not only that, we're working on sustainable efforts here in the city to reduce heat islands in the city. And there's no doubt the black asphalt creates and retains the heat in days like today, which aren't good, and we are trying to minimize throughout the city as best we can. So that being said, I have co-sponsored the motion with a few of my other colleagues. I do have a signed petition of nearly 50 signatures from the residents on Douglas Road calling for concrete. They too believe that this will be better in the long run for cost purposes and usage. The neighborhood's very, very excited about all the projects going on there. There's obviously growing pains in the interim. That's soon going to be over, and it's going to be a beautiful gateway connecting Upper Andover, Douglas, top of Andover, all the way to Cauley Stadium, making it completely walkable, and you will see all these parks and infrastructures being more utilized as a result. I have no doubt. So I want to thank all the residents there on Belvedere for their support and their engagement on this issue. And as a result, I have a petition of 50 signatures to submit into the record, and I look forward to my colleagues' comments on this. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Getchia?
Thank you, Mayor Rourke. I just first wanted to thank the city manager for being a listening ear throughout all of this environmental stuff. When we first got a report from Heat Islands from UMass Lowell about 3 years ago, I think we were all very committed and worried about what the heat island effect would happen to certain neighborhoods. We look in the Acre and we look at other projects, and we're starting to become a leader in big cities in doing this, hopefully, when we start looking at changing from the asphalt over to concrete and trying to keep our mature trees and add trees to those areas. So I thank you for taking our calls and helping us and welcoming us to this change, because I think we may not see it in the next 10 years, but I do think Lowell will become a much more resilient, environmentally friendly place if we keep these regulations and standards in place. Thank you again, Mr. Manager.
Councilor Mercia?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I know you're going to find this hard to believe, but there's nothing more I can add to this that hasn't been said already. But I'm very grateful because in the last city council meeting, I had asked for Barrisford Avenue to be cemented, and you fulfill that. And I'm hoping that you can give me the second gift of fulfilling this motion as well. So I think, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Councilor Noon?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I thank three councilors for signing on to this motion. It should have been an easy position to do so. The city has been front and center in terms of heat island reduction. We are very good at it. We're number one, almost in the Commonwealth. The cost saving in the long term will really exceed what upfront costs we're going to pay. I think not just this Douglas Road, but also any other sidewalk that we continue to repair and fix or replace ought to be concrete. That way, we stay or upfront in terms of being a city that address the issues of heat islands that we talking about going forward. Thank you.
Mr. Manager, am I just going to go all concrete then from now on?
Mr. Mayor, roll call vote, please. Thank you.
Mr. Manager?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. I believe I've heard from everyone here. I do believe in heat island reduction. I do believe in the additional trees. I do think this is a good idea. Once again, never against concrete, but it's a cost structure. And I think that individually, I know I've talked to every single one of the councilors here, we understand that. And instead of doing 100% of what we could do, we might do 90%. But I think that overall, at the end of the day, where we can, when we can, every time we should, probably move towards concrete because of the reasons that were stated so eloquently by the council, as well as by each of you that called in favor of this. I do believe this is something that, from an environmental standpoint, will make a difference, council, not next year, not 2 years from now, but 5 to 10 years from now. I think people are going to look back on this and say it was a great idea. So, to answer your question, Mr. Mayor, that would be my intent, that we move forward with concrete.
Just need to make sure it's fair citywide, not just in one neighborhood. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Council Mercia.
Thank you. Yes.
Council Noon.
Yes.
Council Robinson.
Yes.
Mayor Rourke.
Yes.
Council Scott.
Yes.
Council Yem.
Yes.
Council Belanger.
Yes.
Council Chow.
Yes.
Council Dakota.
Yes.
Council Getchia.
Yes.
Council Janice.
Yes.
11 yeas.
Right before 7 o'clock, Councilor Getchia.
Could we take, since we're under suspension of rules, 6.8 out of order, please?
Councilor Getchia, seconded by Councilor Janice, take 6.8 out of order. All those in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 6.8. Councilors Robinson and Getchia request city manager have the Lowell Housing Authority provide a report on what preventative measures have been implemented at 227 Gorham Street in regards to vagrancy and drug use situation in common areas, as well as any inspection reports the DDS has performed at this location over the past year. No second needed. Councilor Getchia. Any registered speakers on this one? None.
Can I make a motion to suspend the rules to allow a registered speaker, please?
By Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Getchia. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes.
Mr. Prestipino, please state your name and address for the record.
Hello, my name is David Prestipino. I live in 16 Hazeltine Street. A lot of people in this room know me, and I'm the type of person that is a matter-of-fact person, and I tell the truth. So I'm going to start out by saying I've been in this city for almost 50 years. I'm 50 years old, and this is the best team that I have seen in my 50 years. The city council, you're a generational gem. The progress in this city has been immense over the last decade or so. Mr. Manager, you are the best city manager I have ever seen, right? There are still pockets of resistance in our city. So I'd like to just personally thank you. This is not a knock on the city council. This is to raise awareness of the situations that's going on. A little background about me is back in the day, I was a field supervisor. I used to help run the EMS system in Lawrence, Massachusetts, Marlborough, and Hudson, and Drake, Massachusetts. I've seen a lot and I've done a lot. I have some intelligence in this area. I'm the guy that's made the videos. I'm walking around. And last year, I've seen a lot in the South Common, and I've seen a lot of progress. One half of downtown Lowell has been cleaned up, but we still have an area that needs to be done. And here's where the awareness needs to be made. Over at the Bishop Markham, the Lowell Housing Authority is failing immensely right now. 87-year-old Joan Doobie was violently attacked by a vagrant that wanted to enter the building, and Joan did not want her to enter the building. She was just doing what she thought was right. And it's just that area. So from walking around the South Common Park and watching everything that's been going on, the information I've gathered and the knowledge I've gathered, I want to pass it along to you. Ground zero right now is Bishop Markham. This is not a homeless problem that we really have in Lowell. It's a drug war. It's a drug problem, right? Everybody here, they're trying to help everybody, but why won't they accept your services? Think about this, right? These are drugs telling people not to accept your services. You're doing everything you can. I have some ideas at the end that I'll pass along, but Bishop Markham, if you just think about this, it's ground zero. On one side of Bishop Markham, you have the South Common Park. On the other side, you have Jay's Food Store in that neighborhood. Then in the other area, you have Appleton Street, and then we have a school, right? There are multiple units selling drugs out of the Bishop Markham. As a matter of fact, 87-year-old Joan Doobie, who was thrown down to the ground and assaulted, she knew where the assaulter was going. She was going to the 4th floor to buy fentanyl, right? So why aren't there cameras? One of my first ideas is the Lowell Housing Authority, why are they not putting cameras? And why was there so much filth? I have been on multiple well-being checks. I have smelled dead bodies. I've been on murder scenes. I've seen it all, right? And I've never gagged. When I was in that doorway at the Bishop Markham and in the hallways, I started gagging. I walked, there was urine everywhere, there were feces. It's third world living conditions. And I don't even know who the person that's running the Lowell Housing Authority is. But changes, if they don't change, changes should be made. And I'm just making you aware of this, because I know that we have the best. I mean, I've been here 50 years. I've never seen progress in the city of Lowell happen the way this team is happening. As far as I'm concerned, I think everybody here, whoever's watching this on TV, I think it's time to keep the incumbents. And I pray, Mr. Manager, that you stay for a long, long time, because what you've done for this city of Lowell, Tom Golden, and this team right here has been it should be a template, what is happening in the city of Lowell, to the entire country in the United States of America, how to clean a city up after COVID. It is just amazing how good of a job we're doing. But you got to remember, we still have some pockets left. We didn't come this far just to come this far. We got to keep the pedal down, right? We're doing a phenomenal job, and now's not the time to slow down or stop, right? 87-year-old Joan Doobie didn't want to let a vagrant, a drug addict, that doesn't want to accept services in there was thrown to the ground. And I don't know what Lowell District Court's doing, but that person's already out. There's a restraining order, and she's already coming up to Joan Doobie. And Joan, and, you know, the people in Bishop Markham right now are living in absolute filth, absolute horror, absolute fear. It's one of the last pockets of resistance that our city has. In the last couple of days, I really appreciate the effort that's been put in, because I'm watching all the police over there, and I'm seeing a big difference. But we have a lot of education and a lot more to do. And it's just like, you know, step one, I got 3 ideas here. Let's get cameras inside all of those buildings, into the hallways, the common ways. It's common sense. We have to get these people to feel safe. There are elderly people in these buildings. There are disabled people in these buildings that are living in absolute terror and absolute fear. Let's use some more common sense. We have cameras in the common ways. And why, you know, if you see the cameras, why would 40 or 50 people be coming out of the same unit? Why can't we get a knock and get in there and get the drugs out? Bishop Markham is ground zero. I've been boots on the ground. You've all seen me walk, and I walk by myself, no weapons. I walk right into the middle of the homeless camps by myself. I haven't been attacked. These people have accepted me. Some don't like it. But what I've done is I've gotten to see a different perspective. I have the knowledge. I've gathered the information. I'm giving it to you to use so we can move forward and help our Mill City. This, like I said, the progress has been amazing. So step one is to clean ground zero, right? So by cleaning ground zero, we clean the Bishop Markham buildings. We get the drugs out of them. I think we've meshed some people that shouldn't be in the Bishop Markham buildings with the elderly and disabled. But that can be fixed over time. But right now, we need to clear the drugs out, and we need to get that area clean. Step two, besides the businesses being destroyed, this is a drug war. This is not a homeless. We can help the homeless people that want to be helped. But there are about 100 or so people in our streets right now, to 125 people, that do not want the help because there's a drug called fentanyl that is too strong. They don't want to go inside the shelter because they're going to have to dry out. They're sleeping in doorways. And just to let you know, fentanyl has killed more people in the United States of America than World War I, World War II, the Vietnam War, the Gulf War. This is a pandemic, and Lowell has been doing a phenomenal job, especially the last 18 months, clearing it out and working on it, right? So, step two, an executive order was signed. I've talked to people at the Bridge Club, the addicts, that really know, right, what's going on. If people are sleeping in the doorways, or they're sleeping and they're nodded off, we have 600 beds available at Barica that can fast-track services to help these people, right? They're ruining businesses, they're defecating in the doorways, they're attacking people, they're stealing stuff because the drugs are the demon that are causing a lot of the torture. Let's just put it this way, the drugs are not only destroying them, they're destroying everything around them. And that's what we need to contain by picking the vagrants up and taking them to the Barica House of Correction so we can fast-track services. And last but not least, step number 3, the Elliott Church. The Elliott Church is handing out needles. Why are communities around us not handing out needles? Most of the homeless I've dealt and the vagrants I dealt with are not from Lowell, Massachusetts, but they're coming here to get needles at a church, by a school, by a park. I'm asking some counselors here right now today to put some motions in. Could somebody please put a motion in that we cannot be handing needles out within 1,000 feet of a school or 1,000 feet of a family park? I truly believe that will drop the numbers that are hanging out at the Elliott Church and help clean the South Common Park up. This is common sense stuff, and I know you all know this, but you haven't seen it like I've seen it, and I see your eyeballs looking at me, and I see you gathering the information, and I want you to use it, right? Other communities are coming to Lowell
Dave.
to be enabled to get the needles. Mr. Mayor, you're the best. I love you. I got about 15 seconds,
There you
pal.
go. Go get it.
Right? By the way, I'm a big fan of the mayor. I really am. Right? I really am. He's awesome. He's the best. Right? We're lucky. Rita Mercia, 35 years. Everybody here, you're doing a phenomenal job. But listen, can somebody put a motion in? Let's get the needles away from the schools. There is too much desperation close to the innocence of that school over there by the South Common Park. If we can get Ground Zero cleaned up and get the Lowell Housing Authority to start doing their job, because it's disgusting over there, right? Did you see the poop in the sinks? People are defecating in there. They're defecating in the hallways. People are being attacked. We have cleaned up many, many areas. We have basically 3 blocks left. It's time for tough love. It's time for tough love. And somebody, please, let's not be handing needles out by schools or parks. I mean, if you've seen me walking around, I've picked up hundreds of needles. Little children can stumble upon that. Families. I see families coming back to that park. The last thing I want to do is have a kid step on a needle or fall down and get hepatitis or something, right? It's common sense. We're enabling people with needles, but the Elliott Church has been one of our challenges to clear it out. Well, if you're telling everybody from out of town to come here and get our needles because nobody else around is giving the needles out, let's keep the needles 1,000 feet away from the schools and 1,000 feet away from family parks. Does that all make sense? I see people's heads going up and down. I hope somebody will put a motion in and start that. Those are 3 simple things to start cleaning that area up. Get the vagrants out of the doorways. Get people that are on the ground sleeping, right? It's empathy and it's helping them. Thank you very much.
Councilor Robinson?
Thank you. The video that caught my eye was Mr. Prestipino was actually walking and filming inside low housing property, Bishop Markham. And I mean, the conditions, this isn't the first time. We brought this up 6 months, 8 months ago. We were told there was some challenges with housing court. There was funding challenges. We've heard there's been a bunch of challenges, and we all face challenges. But I believe it was my colleague, Councilor Janess, that really drove home a point that stuck with me. The people that live in Bishop Markham, regardless of their status, if they're need ADA accommodations or anything else that goes along with it, elderly, not elderly, whatever it may be, they don't have the means to find an alternative place to live. This system isn't designed to where they can just pack up and leave the next week because they're in an environment that they find unsuitable. A lot of these people are too scared, and I thank Mr. Prestipino and others for speaking up on this, because a lot of these residents are too scared to speak up for themselves, and they're trapped. They're living in a situation that, at no fault of their own, is not conducive to anything healthy or positive. Some of the stuff I saw in that video, as Mr. Prestipino discussed, human feces. In the laundry room, a shared laundry room that our elderly residents of the city have to use to do their laundry. Human feces in the slop sink, along with drug paraphernalia and everything else. I mean, I personally can go to Lowe's or Home Depot and buy a Ring camera for $250 right now. You mean to tell me an organization that's managing 1,700 plus units in the city of low-income housing can't find the means to install step 1, cameras to monitor, step 2, if you have residents that are staying in these properties and they're opening the door for outsiders, and I say outsiders are doing this because basic 101, if I go to visit somebody and I had to go to the bathroom, chances are the person I'm going to visit is going to allow me to use their restroom facility. So this is not residents doing this. And if residents are allowing and opening the doors for others to come in and do this and provide that kind of environment for the others that co-inhabit this place, that's a major problem. I don't know the city's responsibility on low housing. Through you, Mr. Mayor, to the manager maybe, do we have any responsibility as far as inspection of common areas? Do we have authority to inspect common areas of these kind of properties?
Manager?
Assistant City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Lowell Housing Authority is required to follow mass sanitary code, just like any other apartment.
That's excellent. So now, if this was a private landlord, that person would be fined beyond belief, and who knows where we would be with housing court. I think enough is enough. If we can, if at all possible, I hope we're going to send our inspectors over and keep a vigilant eye on this to start. I know LPD has been great. I know that they've been tirelessly chipping away at a lot of these challenges, and it's been shifting back and forth to different areas, and I get it. Believe me, I see the progress. We've seen the progress on multiple locations, and I think that's something that's going to take time, again, working with other partners in this war on the drug environment, as Mr. Prestipino mentioned. But we have a precinct there, and I don't know if it's going to be a matter of, can we kind of encourage Lowell Housing to find a means to staff that precinct? I mean, it's a shame when all of these properties in the city are managed fairly well by Lowell Housing, except for the location that we have a precinct at. So anything we can do to really assist these residents that are living in a situation that none of us here would ever want any of our loved ones or friends to be in. I mean, the poor person that lives in Bishop Markham, what do you think the odds of them leaving their unit, crossing the street to get a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk is, between Jay's food store and what they're dealing with within the building they live? There's no way people are going to be doing that. And so I think it's our duty to really ensure we work with Lowell Housing. And I know they do have some people in Lowell Housing that have been doing everything within their power, and I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but I think it's pretty clear that this was pointed out to all of us, and the time has come where we have to work with every ally possible to correct this problem like yesterday. Thank you.
Councilman Chair.
Thank you, Mayor Rourke. You know, Mr. Manager, we've tried this area. We even put a police precinct over there. I don't know if it's manned or not, or what's going on over there. The Housing Authority said they were a partner, but I think that somebody's taking advantage of this partnership because we are close to government agencies, but we're not really inspecting what we inspect in their buildings. Because when you look at these videos, and we've known for a while, Mrs. Dunnigan down there, you got businesses down there, threw millions and millions of dollars into properties down there, only to come to there and people are throwing feces on the doors. That hallway video that Mr. Prestipino has is disgraceful. You've known the Doobie family your entire life. We've known people in those buildings our entire lives. When Sharon has to reach out and say that her mother was accosted down in one of those buildings, it does hit home, but we've had this discussion over and over again, and we need to go down there and inspect it, not call the Lowell Housing Authority to clean it before we get there. It's kind of like when the governor drives in. We clean the South Common, but when they leave, it fills back up. We just have to go down there and surprise inspections like we do every single resident in the city's homes when we do the neighborhood walks. Let's start getting into these buildings and holding people accountable. And if we do that, then we may see change down there. You may see differences, but right now, just seeing residents come to us, you wouldn't want your mom living in that, I promise you. None of us would. And nobody would want any resident to have to barricade in their homes just because someone's selling drugs within. And I understand the land court stuff and all that stuff that was spoken to, but that doesn't mean we give up and we just leave people in those horrible, horrible conditions. I think that the two previous speakers outlined most of the stuff. I just think that we have to come down, through you to the, Mr. Mayor, to the Assistant City Manager, Machado, do you know if we've ever fined the Housing Authority for infractions?
I don't have that in front of me, but I'm sure they've been fined in the past.
Yeah, I mean, because that area has been like that 20 years now. We've done an excellent job at the South Common. I think we do have to take into consideration the outskirts that we pushed some people to and what they're doing over at the store over there and everything, and let's go get it. I mean, it's time. So I thank you again, Mr. Manager, for your hard work in this situation. It's not easy when every other community around us is just coming to us because we have all the social services, but it's time that we give the residents who are actually here in living within a civil society the way that we should, a helping hand to try to get back to a condition that they can live within, that all of us would enjoy our parents to live within. Thank you.
Councilor Mercia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to thank the speaker for coming, Mr. Prestipino, to say all the things that he said, which put me in shock because I didn't know the situation was that bad. I know that this council heard about a few months ago where there were people on drugs and they were getting into the maintenance door. They were breaking the lock and getting in and coming through the building from the basement. And I know that the director there was locking the door and putting devices to try to keep them out. So I thought that that was resolved. So I'm very shocked to hear that. I hope Ms. Doobie is going to be all right because nobody should have to live in fear like that. There were many years ago when I brought up an issue with the housing and I was told, oh, you really can't, we have no jurisdiction over the housing. You have jurisdiction when I, as a city councilor, represent my constituent that happens to live in the housing, then it is my problem, and this is everybody's problem. I certainly wouldn't want any of my loved ones, as Councilor Robinson said, living in fear next door. And the first order of business is to call, and I will call tomorrow to find out who lives on the 4th floor because they should be out. No selling drugs. They lost their beautiful apartment. That's a shame. And just for your information, I did make the motion. I put the motion up there with the city clerk. So we will talk about that and try to make an ordinance because I think it's that important. It's that important. I didn't know the Elliott Church was giving away free needles. I'm certainly not in favor of that. So yes, I agree with you 100%. Thank you for coming out of your way. Thank you for bringing Miss Doobie here. Thank you. That's my daughter's last name, too. Well, we related, darling, I don't know, but thank you very much. Thank you for your kind words. I agree with you. This is a wonderful city council. Thank you so much. We'll do everything we can. I'm sure the city manager will be on top of it to call the chief, and we'll do a full court press. I know this city, and we will work on that. That is a shame. Thank you for, it's not like I go all over the city, but it's people like you that tell us what's happening in the city. That's why I'm very fond of the neighborhood groups because I can't be everywhere, such as you, but I'll tell you, if I walk through the tents and the campsites, they'd probably kill me, but you, I would think twice. So anyway, thank you very much for coming here and alerting us on the danger. Thank you.
Councilor Janess.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I'd like to thank Councilors Robinson and Gitcher for bringing this forward, and the Speaker for sharing his experience and what he's seen over there. I fully agree that these folks who live in Bishop Markham deserve to live in a safe place and feel safe coming and going from their building, and it's obvious that that's not the case right now. So, Mr. Manager, I look forward to continuing this discussion and hearing what you can come back with because, you know, we do owe them a safe place to live, and figuring out how we can do that needs to be a pretty high priority. So I look forward to continuing this discussion and seeing what we can do here because no one should be living in these kind of conditions anywhere in this city. Thank you.
Mr. Dakota.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to the city manager, understanding that this motion was on the agenda tonight, have you or any of your staff reached out to Executive Director Chan and how we beginning a plan of what we're going to do with Bishop Markham at this point and what their response might have been?
Manager.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. Yes, we have. We've talked to, I didn't speak to Mr. Chan, but we've talked to Mr. Briere and Mr. Mercia about this. One of the issues is the weekend coverage was low or none at all. So Monday morning, it did look like that. However, I want to say thank you very much to, and it's already been said today, the Superintendent of Police, the NRU unit, et cetera, has really been trying to pick up a lot of the slack in that area. I think it shows with what's been happening over there past. I think Mr. Prestipino had said the last 18 months, and I think he's kind of run spot. But in some instances, we're moving people from place to place to place to place. We need to figure something out We've also, at the council's request, have talked to the state delegation about this as well. We really need some assistance from our state delegation, whether it be state hospitals, et cetera, for people that have this terrible disease when it comes to addiction. Once again, homelessness is not something, and this has come loud and clear through this council. Homelessness is not a crime. Homelessness, we're trying to help. But the vagrancy that comes along at times with homelessness, that is a problem. And that, I think, is what we've been talking about. The NRU unit, which is our neighborhood response unit, has done a fabulous job. I think, Councilor, you had stated earlier that the city of Lowell is the only one that's doing this. We had a meeting with the NRU unit and the co-op. We employ, I believe it's 32 people. 32 people that are on the payroll here in the city of Lowell, whether police officers, co-op professionals, to try to combat this problem. And to what was stated earlier, we have a lot of towns that just simply drop people here. So this is a difficult situation. I do believe that with the leadership through this council and this administration, we have made a dent, but we still need to do more. What Mr. Prestipino had shown, that's as somebody who was in property management for a couple of decades, that is ridiculous. The fact that people wouldn't be working on the weekends, the fact that that was allowed to happen. So we will be talking to them. I know that Mr. Machado will be following up with this to try to move forward, because Councilor, as you had stated earlier, nobody should live like this. Nobody should live in fear in and around their home. But I appreciate the positive comments by Mr. Prestipino on everything that the LPD, et cetera. But once again, this city is, and if I'm off by 1 or 2 people. 34 people that were dedicated into this area at all times. So we're walking the walk. We need some real assistance with our state hospitals, et cetera, which I know that, once again, this is one of those issues that offline, I think I've talked to every single council on this multiple times, and we're going to continue to push, because this simply isn't good enough. Tomorrow we need to continue to do better, and we need to help these folks get off of this addiction and assist. Just a few weeks ago, not to continue talking about this, just a few weeks ago, I think Ms. Golden shared with us, and I'm doing this from memory, somebody can please correct me, I think 35. We put 35 people in the summertime, and residents need to know this, in the summertime, when people are more likely to stay outside. We were fortunate enough, because of the professionals that we have in this city working for us, we got 35 people into detox in the summertime in a 5-week process. That is unquestionably hard work done by the employees here in our city. And we need to just do that every single week. And that's what they do. I'm proud of the co-op team. I'm proud of our police department. I'm proud of everything that's going on, but we need to continue to raise the bar and do better.
Councilor Chow.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also want to thank the maker of the motions and the speaker who came to speak and spoke very in detail the situation at this location. And thank you for acknowledging the work of the manager's office. You've done a great job, and the focus of the council has been working very hard in these past few years. And I also want to thank the chief, the Lowell Police Department, the Homeless Task Force, as the city manager mentioned, and the co-op team. This location is a ground zero, and we're fortunate to have the speaker to highlight many of the problems and issues at this location. But in the past, I've heard that similar issues that happen at smaller area, like in the Highlands and in the downtown area as well. Many of the neighborhoods have the Lowell Housing Authority living complex, resident complex in there, and they're facing similar issues. As the one to make the motion, Councilor Robinson mentioned, there could be multiple locations affected by this. And since that you are going to perform a detailed inspection and report already, I'm asking if the managers, if you could also work to get a inspection at the other locations and get a comprehensive report as well, rather than a separate motion to come in the future to ask for different locations. So if you can get The areas could be at risk could be the ones in Lowell Highlands that I've heard a lot of complaints about. That would be very helpful. Thank you.
Councilor Belanger.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I do thank Mr. Prestopino, or Presto, if you will, for that, filming that video along with the other accompanied guests he brought in tonight, including one resident at Bishop Markham who was literally who was going through hell due to this. And I don't believe Presto made this video for nefarious reasons, not for one minute. I believe genuinely he cares about the city. He wants to shed light on this situation. I mean, it's not something that we didn't know already existed, addiction and homelessness. But this video really got in the weeds, and it was very troubling and very revealing. So let's start with, the Housing Authority. I understand their massive responsibilities to, the 1,700 plus units. It's not an easy task. However, something needs to be done here. A better job needs to be done as far as security. And it's not only the exterior of the building, but apparently there's some problems with drug dealing going on in the building as well. So, Mr. Manager, the onus is on us and Lowell Police to police it by and large. I'm not relieving them, the Housing Authority, from responsibility on this, but I think you need to work with the chief and the police force in that area, who's done a magnificent job cleaning up South Common. What a world of difference. And as the speaker said, that you now see children and families there walking, people using the track like, quote, the old days. So we have, quote, taken back the park. But by and large, that enforcement only goes on till afternoon. And from what I understand, what I'm told from boots on the ground, after 3 o'clock per se, this element all comes back, because they're expected, the co-op team's not, I don't know the staggered hours. I'm recommending that we stagger the hours, Mr. Manager, both police, co-op, clinicians. It is simply not a 9 to 5 job. It is not. Obviously, these residents are affected. A lot of this is night activity. So I think all the outreach workers, including police, hours need to be staggered for sure, because they claim the park. Once the sun sets, they completely take over again. And this is the activity. And the residents of Bishop Markham, they're just a fatality. So I want you to work with the police and law enforcement and the co-op team in that regard, if you could, as well as the Housing Authority for better security measures, as Councilor Robbins stated. I think a camera system is not a big ask. They can identify intruders, give those to the police, and therefore put out warrants or whatever it means, no trespass orders, but they need pictures of these individuals that keep coming back time and time again. So there's measures that can be taken. It's a team effort here to find a solution. But it's been ongoing far too long. And again, this area has become ground zero as the park is cleaned up dramatically again. It's Lower Gorham Street, and just recently another casualty, the Keep. I mean, it's sad to see a restaurant with such good food, such good reputation and atmosphere, out of business because of this element. It's not fair. It's not fair, and we've had enough. With all the services we offer, again, 35 full-time workers dedicated to helping those. Get them to seek shelter, addiction treatment, whatever it may be. But it's no good unless they accept the help. And by and large, they're not accepting the help. That's another part of the problem. So, Mr. Manager, that's where you come in with the delegation, as you mentioned earlier, where that problem, we need help. Tewksbury State Hospital needs to be opened up. It was created as a mental health, and that's part of the problem here. As a mental health institution, that's why it was built, that's why it was created, and that's what we need to go back to. Again, 600 some odd beds at Billerica House of Correction. There are beds for people if they want to seek treatment, if they're serious about it. And lastly, I'll say one of the largest problems that I've been the chairman of the opioid task force since 2014. Okay, while fatal overdoses are down dramatically due to all this supreme effort that you, Mr. Manager, and everybody's making here. Then that was the goal, reduce fatal overdoses, and certainly it's happening. But the residual effects are still there. Neighborhoods are being destroyed, businesses are being destroyed, and that still persists. So Lastly, I think the problem here, what we need to do is, Mr. Manager, if you could facilitate a meeting with the council, amend the motion, hopefully get support from my colleagues to set up a meeting with yourself, the administration, the council, and District Attorney Marion Ryan, who I have a ton of admiration and respect for. She's been on the forefront of this issue for a long, long time, okay? But part of the problem here is the courts, that revolving door notice the court system where the same people, I'm told by the police officers, same 30, 40, 50 people in and out constantly, and nothing's being done. They're sick. You can see it. They're deep in the stages of addicted and allowed to go right back out in the street. That's compassion to some people, I guess. But I've had it, you can see, this problem's been going on too long. Our communities are being... Addiction is not an individual disease. It's everybody and everything's affected. And it's about time we take some drastic measures to do the very best we can to combat this. We've seen enough. Our downtown has literally almost single-handedly been destroyed because of this issue. And it's no more. So, again, I do amend the motion to set up a meeting with the administration, the council, and District Attorney Marion Ryan to explain to her the situation, not that she doesn't already know, that we need help. Simple as that. Thank you very much.
Not a bad idea, Councilor, but I think the motion filed by Councilors Getchia and Robinson is just for this point in time. I'd rather have that response first for the motion, then we come back to that, all right?
As you wish, Mr. Mayor.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. On to the general public hearings. Being well past 7 p.m. 4.1, the ordinance, amend zoning, extension, SMU zone, 1190 Pawtucket Boulevard. Start off with all those in favor, in favor, in favor. Portion of the meeting is closed. All those in opposition, opposition, opposition. That portion of the meeting is closed. A motion to adopt by Councilor Mercia, second by Councilor Yem. Councilor Mercia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If we could bring in and suspend the rules 7.3, which is the recommendation by the planning board on regards to this issue.
Excellent suggestion, Councilor Mercia. 7.3, communication, planning board recommendation regarding rezoning of parcel located at 1190 Pawtucket Boulevard by Councilor Mercia, second by Councilor Noon. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. Any other comments or questions, Councilor Mercia? Good?
No. Move approval.
Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Council Mercia.
Yes.
Council Noon.
Yes.
Council Robinson.
Yes.
Mayor Rourke.
Yes.
Council Scott.
Yes.
Council Yem.
Yes.
Council Belanja.
Yes.
Council Chow.
Yes.
Council Dakota.
Yes.
Council Getchia.
Yes.
Council Janice.
Yes.
11 yeas.
4.2, ordinance amending zoning extension, TMU zone, Branch Street. All those in favor?
Mr. Mayor.
In favor?
We include 7.4 as well.
As soon as I get it. All those in opposition, opposition, opposition. That portion of the meeting is closed. We'll take, along with this, we'll take 7.4 by Councilor Janice, second by Councilor Getchia. Communication, planning board recommendation regarding rezoning of parcels located at 121-135 Branch Street. Motion to accept the place on file by Councilor Janice, second by Councilor Mercia. All in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. Move approval by Councilor Noon, second by Councilor Robinson. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Council Mercia.
Yes.
Council Noon.
Yes.
Council Robinson.
Yes.
Mayor Rourke.
Yes.
Council Scott.
Yes.
Council Yem.
Yes.
Council Belanja.
Yes.
Council Chow.
Yes.
Council Dakota.
Yes.
Council Getchia.
Yes.
Council Janice.
Yes.
11 yeas.
4.3, ordinance to amend Chapter 243, temporary repairs by the city on private ways. Start the public hearing. All those in favor? In favor? In favor? Portion of the meeting is closed. All those in opposition? 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 That portion of the meeting is closed. We have comments from the council. Move approved by Councilor Getchia, second by Councilor Dakota. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Council Mercia.
Yes.
Council Noon.
Yes.
Council Robinson.
Yes.
Mayor Rourke.
Yes.
Council Scott.
Yes.
Council Yem.
Yes.
Council Belanja.
Yes.
Council Chow.
Yes.
Council Dakota.
Yes.
Council Getchia.
Yes.
Council Janice.
Yes.
11 yeas.
4.4, an ordinance to create a new position, dash for parks. Start the public hearing. All those who speak in favor? In favor? In favor? Name and address, please.
Good evening, members of the council. My name is, and members of the administration, my name is Matthew LaLasher. I'm 39 Perrin Way in Lowell here. And I came tonight. I've been before you before on different issues. Normally I wouldn't come in a baseball hat, but this relates to kind of what we're here for and talking about tonight. I wanted to come to speak in favor of this ordinance because I believe it speaks to this is an investment in more than just a line item in a budget. This isn't a department position. This isn't an additional funding line. This is a continued investment that we that are involved in the youth sports world, I didn't say prior to, I'm a member of the board of the Lowell Youth Baseball and Softball League, also heavily involved with soccer and other organizations. And this is the type of investment that we've seen on the youth sports level that has led to tremendous improvement from where we were just a few short years ago. I'll stand here and tell you I believe there is a ways to go and there is more that needs to be done, and that's why an ordinance and a position like this is necessary. I think we've seen that when you invest in things like this, greatness can come back from it. I'll take 10 seconds to speak to what that greatness is. The city of Lowell is the first 4-time defending state champion in baseball now in the Cal Ripken League. The girls of the city of Lowell, the 12U girls, are the only undefeated team in Massachusetts that went down to Hershey Park and just won a national title down at Hershey Park, going undefeated. The boys and the baseball side play in the Bay State Tournament, the oldest tournament still running in Massachusetts, and for the first time in the 73-year history of that tournament, 3 of the 4 divisions were won by Lowell. We are moving in a heck of a direction, and that's just in those 2 sports. What we're seeing in volleyball, in soccer, in you name it, well, not to pontificate, Dave already did a really good job of that earlier, so I won't go any longer in those areas. But what I'm trying to make sure I get across is this isn't a budget line item. This is a chance for us to continue to say that we're going to make our investment in our children. We're going to make our investment in the departments that we deem necessary. Now, I know that every investment is a disinvestment or a choice not to be in another area. And there may be other ways to bring efficiencies into different departments. And I don't put that upon myself. That's why there's a management team to be able to decide what they're going to do in those areas. But what I can say is when we make these types of investments, it's not just the kids. There are 1,200 families that are involved in Lowell Youth Baseball and Softball. That's 1,200 families. If you assume that there are 4 people in every family, all being Lowell residents, you're talking to yourself of now 6,000 to 7,000. That's just inside of one organization. We haven't talked about football. We haven't talked about soccer. We haven't talked about what I think the next big investment should be is volleyball based on the demographic of the city. If we make these investments, if we bring in people that can raise the standard of the existing staff, because I want to take, again, 2 seconds to thank 2 people individual, and their names had come up in a previous discussion here. On the baseball side, what Chris Apostolos and what Anthony Powers did for the baseball league this year, the baseball and softball league, the fact that we as a league are not running around crazy prior to games trying to get fields chalked and get fields ready because the city has made the commitment for people to start to do those things, you can't know what that means to us. That's 15 or 20 extra minutes for us to spend time teaching someone how to catch a ball, throw a ball, hit a ball, that we no longer have to invest in trying to do those things. And now by just getting ourselves organized and doing those things, all of us are now giving back more to the community. Well, I think this position gives a chance to continue that investment and gives a chance for the people like Chris, like Anthony, and others, too many to name in that department, but the 30-plus individuals that are there, if they're given additional training, additional guidance, and additional opportunity to grow, I think only more wonderful things will come out of this. So I just wanted to take the chance from the league's perspective to let you know what an investment like this would mean to us. So I thank you very much for the time.
Thank you. Any others wish to speak in favor? In favor? In favor? The portion of the meeting is closed. Any speaking in opposition? 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 The portion of the meeting is closed. I need a motion to adopt by Councilor Mercer, second by Councilor Yem. Any discussion? Councilor Robinson.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Mr. LaLasha for coming and speaking on behalf of this. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and I think some of the things he's saying, I agree with. Some of the things that is being brought forward in perspective. Yes, of course. Baseball organization is going to want pristine Fenway Park quality fields to conduct their games on. for the kids, for tournaments, for all these things, and that's great. But realistically, it's not sustainable. You're going to bring in someone to educate people on Fenway level maintenance and upkeep, and what are we going to neglect all the other duties for the passive parks of the families and the green space that aren't being utilized for baseball? I looked at the job description, and initially it was pitched that this consultant would be doing a bunch of different areas for open space, but now it seems like it's specifically tailored and focused on athletic fields. I see $70 an hour seasonal. We asked if benefits would be offered, and we were told we weren't sure yet. That doesn't sit right either. We hire at least 48 seasonal employees throughout the DPW every year. I don't know any lifeguard or seasonal groundskeeper that was ever offered any benefits. Never been offered. We hear about irrigation. We spent $200,000 on bringing in a contractor in to redo our ball fields not too long ago. What happened? Thankful Mr. LaLasha had to manage that contract for us to get the work done, because for whatever reason internally we weren't able to do so. We had no irrigation. Half of that work went right down by the wayside. This isn't an issue with consultants coming in and teaching people. Some employees have been there for over 40 years. 40 years they've been doing this kind of work. And you know what the biggest flaw and problem is if you speak to the employees? Lack of management. There's no accountability. No one's checking on them. None of that. They're not keying in on the strengths and weaknesses of the department by individual. There's no investment on training your colleagues. And by bringing in yet trying to buy a way out of another problem, which I think we all see is pretty clear now. The failure of this area has been the management of the resources. So instead of investing in training and holding accountability and management practices in this department or division, we're looking to add and bring somebody else to consult. So now supporting this vote is bringing us nearly $300 an hour to tell the guys how to cut grass, how to do what some of these people have been doing for 40 years, between the commissioner, the superintendent, the general foreman, and now a consultant. I mean, I don't understand the reasoning. I understand that we're trying to improve and maintain. We have a hard time just doing ball fields currently. So when we complicate that and bring in someone that's used to operating on a much higher level with endless resources into the public sector, we're going to negate a lot of the duties. It's kind of like bringing in Martha Stewart to teach people how to plant exotic rare perennials in a flower bed. Who's going to maintain that once that consultant is gone? We need to really get dialed in on what are the breaks in the department and why aren't the services being provided routinely, regularly. And it was brought up, Chris and Anthony, 2 employees. Chris happens to be one of those 40-plus year employees. What does an outside consultant do for morale in the department? And if we're looking at irrigation, that's not even in the park's responsibility. That's irrigation plumbing specialists. So again, if Chris and Anthony are already doing this kind of work internally, why aren't we looking to use some of this money to incentivize existing employees to train their colleagues? We haven't even explored bringing in an Essex Aggie or sending people to Essex Aggie, and if people refuse, then they refuse. But I just think if there's funding available and the outcome desired here is pristine playing fields, well-maintained, providing a service amongst all the other responsibilities the department has, I think we're going about it the wrong way, and I appreciate Mr. LaLasha for speaking, and I appreciate the manager trying to make a move to get this done, to provide this service on the next tier level, and I agree. But I think if we look around, we have some employees that we can be proud of and invest in, and I think we'll see the dividends come back to us by having internal employees train others. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Rourke. There is not many people in the world who love baseball more than I do. But when in Mr. LaLasha, if I was hiring anybody to come out and represent me, it would be him. There's no question. But as an elected official, it is about budgets, and it is about items, and it is about all those things. If I had all the money in the world and didn't have to raise taxes, every position would be okayed and we'd have to move along. But the CFO has come out and said that next year we're going to see a hike in taxes. And we just cut 2 public nurses, and here we are. Does a baseball field mean more? Mr. LaLasha just stood up here and highlighted all the wonderful things going on with the fields we currently have. We won championships. We did this. We did that. And I agree with them. It's great coaching, and they worked hard, and they deserve all the props they get. But as we look around this city, we have an onus to the taxpayers to say, here we are. We have 2 people in position that are supposed to be training people. They're in those positions. And then there's the DPW direct commissioner, who should be looking at that and saying, look, you know what? You guys need to get this stuff done. We need to do this. We were just told how great 2 employees do. They could train across. I do understand the piece where there are issues with some of the parks, and we'll have those issues all the way through our city as we had since we were all little kids on those fields. But we do have an onus to the taxpayer that says, look, you know what? We have to cut back right now. We have to start looking deeper. And if these funds are available, why would we not be transferring them over to health nurses or something that we really, truly sat here and did? I just don't see the reason for this purchase, this hiring. I see that there is a need, there's no question, but I think it's a want more than a need, especially in the fiscal times that we're going to see going forward. And I think that's what we're elected to do. They are budget items. It's understandable that it's a budget item. You know, when you look at the number here, and if you did it part-time, it's a police officer's salary. It's a firefighter's salary in a part-time position. And then we're going to ask this person to walk out, whoever it is, out into this environment and look at the people who do the job daily and make twice as much money as they make and ask them to be productive. And they have absolutely no authority over them to say, you're going to do something. They're a training person. If anybody's ever worked in this world and had somebody walk in and tell you what to do after you've been working in a place for 30 years and they're going to make double the money and you are happy with it, I feel sorry for you. Thank you.
Councilor Mercia?
Move approval, roll call.
I think we already did the first and second on it. Any other? Councilor Newell?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do agree with investment. I know that we have put close to $1 million for each district for the park improvement. So, but Mr. Managers, I asked this question last time. How long do we need this person? I believe in consultant. I believe in training our staff if they need training, ongoing training. So how long do you need this consultant?
Manager?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, to the council. Council, there's a couple of questions that were asked last week, which I do have the answers to, so if I could just kind of go through all of them. One was, how long ago are we going to need it? We've asked, now about a year and a half back, maybe even 2, to see who would be interested in doing this. And there wasn't much activity. There weren't many takers. And once again, we're still looking to raise the bar in this area. We've had over $10 million of investment just in the past 2 years. But how long? You know, I would think, first of all, I would think 32 weeks. I'm thinking someplace between, don't hold me to March because it could be snowing in March, but you know, March to July to open things up, September until it gets cold enough to help on those shoulder seasons. So I mean, I have it written out at about 32 weeks, if you would, at 20 hours a week. That's 640 hours, which brings it to about $45,000.
Do you, Mr. Manager, do you offer them benefit as well?
I'm sorry. Benefits, we would not be required to offer benefits.
Thank you.
Councilor Belanger?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, through you to the manager, a few questions. Mr. Manager, what have we spent on parks citywide through just ARPA funding alone on a citywide level?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. Council, a little bit, is it 8.1? Just right in that $8 million number, and definitely another plus two, probably $3 million in capital that we've put into.
Yeah, it's on the-
I'm thinking of Cavallo Field. I'm thinking of Colley Stadium. You caught me on the Colley Stadium, Cavallo Field, et cetera. Plus
The sports complex, yeah, well over 10 million. We can agree on that. Okay.
easily over 10 million.
Thank you. Now, how about, so health insurance is not going to be offered?
That's correct.
Okay. So now what are we looking at? About a $50,000 a year wage salary?
That would be about correct. I mean, in
Okay,
my
give or
opinion,
take.
I think we're looking, once again, on those shoulder seasons. And
Yeah.
part of it, Counselor, is, my opinion, it's about $45,000, maybe $50,000 to try to get that training more comfortable. Some of the stuff that we're looking at is hard. The certifications aren't easy. But I do think we'll save money, and I think it was Councilor Scott that had asked last week. My goal is not to hire the companies that we do externally that seed and weed, et cetera, throughout the downtown, through parks, et cetera. My goal would be we're not paying that type of money out to contractors. We're keeping it in-house. I've talked with the union, and this is something that if people take to this and if people are interested, this would be something for certified fertilizing, licenses, application process.
Right.
This could be something where I really want to bring it all in-house. And in talking with the union, this would be an idea where if I don't anticipate that all 30 members of the Parks Department are going to take this, maybe 5 or 6, maybe 7, and maybe there's a stipend. But I think that getting our employees, who, by the way, it was mentioned earlier, doing an incredible job. They really, truly are. And things have changed in the past, I'll say 2 years. We're really taking a curb approach in, and I think that, once again, I've heard it from some of the councilors here, we've really attacked from the curb in. Sometimes, the curb doesn't look as great as the field does. Well, if you go by and you see the curb in approach, our parks are looking good. Our open spaces are looking good. That doesn't mean they're not going to look bad at some point in time. But with everything that we have going on, with the job training, the mentorship, I think bringing somebody in from a professional, if we can get somebody, to be quite honest, at that number. I've asked around to 3 different people, and believe me, that number started a lot higher than it is today. But someone who has the experience, someone who has the credentials to help to further grow our employees. And I think that's what we've been talking about, is trying to raise the bar. We've rebuilt an HVAC organization here in the city, but we still bring in specialists to help with our schools. Our HVAC folks learn from that, and my hope is that they continue to learn from that. We send them to schooling as well to make sure they don't. And that's kind of the idea. Our law department, in years past, we've had to hire outside lawyers. The one that comes to my mind right now is the doctor's office, and that was an outside expert that came in to assist. And my thought process would be that our law department learned a lot. DPD, once again, when it's outside of our scope, we hire people. We bring people in from the outside to assist us. And in DPD, I think that's helped us out tremendously with some of the negotiations with, quite frankly, our DPD doesn't do, I would say, 3 stories and above. We don't do a lot of brand new building here. We do a lot of brand new building when it comes to condominiums, when it comes to single-family homes, and I think our DPD and our DDS, they do a great job. But when we start talking about steel structures or brick structures or 6-story structures, we need assistance from the outside to make sure that we level the playing field. So once again, there would be no health care. The duration of the job, in my opinion, it'd be afloat between March and possibly April, depending, up until July, and then maybe September until it snows. And I put it out at about 640 hours. To answer Councilor Noon's direct question, a couple of 2 years maybe. Maybe the end of 25, going into 26, and then going into the beginning of 27, to try to give people that comfort to hopefully start going after these licenses. These licenses are a challenge. The application, the certification, I don't anticipate everybody will go for it, but it's a possibility that I think I'd like to bring more of the stuff on the inside as opposed to the outside.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Manager. And last question, is this just inclusive of, what are we talking about? Just the ball fields? Are we talking about all parks, islands, open spaces? What is this consulting individual going to consist of overseeing?
Quickly, Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through the council. It would be everything. It'd be all our open.
Everything, all inclusive, yeah. Parks, open spaces, islands, and whatnot, right? It's not,
downtown.
so we're not just talking ball fields here, right?
No.
Okay.
If that came
excellent.
across the wrong way, my apologies, but the person.
Excellent. Okay. Well, again, thanks for clarifying now. Well over $10 million in our parks and open spaces in the city. That's just incredible. And we're not going to protect it? I mean, this body talks about, and we created a school facilities maintenance department, right? To protect our largest investment, the high school, and it will parlay soon into other schools, but why not take that philosophy into the investment we put recently into our parks and open spaces, right? I think it makes complete sense. You know, personally, in my district, I'm extremely pleased with the condition of the parks. I frequent them. I know many of the workers, and just take the bike by, do sweeps, if you will, and again, very pleased, but we can do better. You know, Shed Park in my district holds many state tournaments, a lot of outside, out of state, and soon, as Matt LaLatcher indicated, outside the region may be visiting Lowell in the upcoming years for tournaments. And I want to look our very best. And I think this helps us get there. You know, and Mr. Manager, you alluded to this culture where, you know, we have great employees, long-term talented employees that are very well-heeled in experience, but perhaps certifications were a little light on. And that's a culture that's been going on. Now, I don't want to punish the guys or punish the workers for what they don't know. This is just what's going on. I'm with them, and there's nothing more that I'd rather see is you instill them, train them, certify them to do stuff that we're paying a third party to do, and perhaps give them a stipend. What's wrong with that? I think that's a great culture to create. This is in order to help them, give you the insight, to give them the talent and the skills to promote from within. And you mean to tell me on a $550 million budget we can't afford $100,000 over 2 years to protect the parks and the huge investments that we've made? I think it's, in my opinion, a bargain. If that is the case, that we find the right individual, Mr. Manager, I think it's an absolute bargain. So I'm all for it. I think it's a great initiative, but at the same time, I expect results. I expect to see initiatives in the spring, a good strategic schedule in the fall where we're better prepared in the spring. And I look forward to the initiatives that I'm going to be looking for very much in the spring as to an evaluation assessment of our parks, what can be improved on and where. And I'm going to be watching in, again, expecting results. So I support it. And that's all I have to say, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do understand some concerns from my colleagues about the budget, the impact on the city's economy and so forth. But I also believe in an investment. As Councillor Belanger asked earlier, when you have a person like Mr. LaLatcher, thank him for coming to speak. We think of this as for athletic fields because we know that Mr. LaLatcher is Mr. Baseball, Mr. Sports. But as the manager clarified, this is for all open space, for all parks. Not every park throughout the city looks as great, and I could name many parks throughout the city that could improve. The Parks Department have done a fantastic job, but we can improve. And for an investment like this, it's a short-term investment. I think for a short-term investment like this, we're going to have long-term benefits that the residents, all age level, can benefit. You don't have to be athletic. There are many use for the parks, for the playgrounds, for walking the dogs. There's some motions on the agenda, talk about the dog parks, the report, different use for the parks, but this is going to be well received, and I look forward to seeing how the parks, the open spaces, the green spaces can be improved from this investment. So I too will support this. Thank you.
Councilor Dinas.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just had a few quick questions for the administration on this position. Overall, I see the need for it. I understand the level of investment. It's not an unreasonable amount of money. Looking at the budget, there is a line item under parks for salary and wages temporary of $75,000. Is that what would be funding this position, or are we going to have to appropriate additional funds into the budget?
CFO?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have analyzed the parks and wages salary permanent. We believe there to be there are some vacancies in the department, sufficient surplus there to cover the position for this year. We may fund it out of the temporary budget, but that would be an internal transfer.
Okay.
So there is sufficient funding in the FY 2026 budget for this.
Okay, so we wouldn't have to appropriate extra funding. That was one of my concerns. Did have a question about time frame. We just approved a budget 2 months ago. Why wasn't this included in the original budget proposal, I guess is my question.
Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. As we take the different communications that come to us, we think of, we go through them every Monday and how to solve each particular problem. I believe that this was a motion that was brought forward that we're trying to figure out how to do it. The council, make no mistake about. I think this is a good idea to start this thing. It's not a permanent solution. This is a temporary solution, but this is in response to try to get to that next level, to try to ensure we're providing the best services we can. And like I said, similar to other departments, this is the best way that I can consider doing this, unless somebody else has a better idea. I think this is going to give the support to a lot of the members that are doing a great job over in Parks.
Okay, I would be really interested to see at the end of this budget year, when you do your year-end report, what impacts this position has, assuming it gets approved. So that'll be something I look for in the end-of-year report. So if you want to make a note of that, I would be very interested to see what kind of demonstrable effects this position would have in our Parks Department. Had some concerns about the language about an applicator license. Some of those pesticides that are being applied that require the license are very dangerous to humans, to pets. Do we have a need for this kind of pesticide that would be dangerous to humans and pets? And if so, where would we be using them?
Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. I think that's even more important that we're not using those, to be honest with you. And someone who has that expertise inside of that would know what we're not using, especially if let's talk about ball fields. Let's talk about any fields. We don't want anyone sitting down in a field and sitting on the wrong stuff. We would make sure that wasn't happening. But once again, if the person has this commercial license or has a license to do this, they would possibly know this. This is about helping the employees there. In a perfect world, I see 5 or 6 or 7 of our teammates getting this done to all work together, so we're attacking different parts of the city at the same time. Right now, we're paying outside sources to do that.
Okay, thank you. And then the last question I have, which might be best aimed to my friend the solicitor in the corner, is do we as a council, as part of this process, do we have the ability to cap the hours or cap the expenditure as part of this ordinance in improving this position?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So no, that function is typically one that comes from the city manager, in his form of government. Now, again, I think the city manager, at least in my time here, has always been pretty receptive to if the council had suggestions or different things that you felt would make it work better, more so than other leaders and other municipalities that I've seen. So I would imagine if there is anything that you felt was worthwhile, that the city manager would take it under advisement. But I know at the same time, with a lot of these positions, when they go there, a lot of time and thought does go into it from the manager's office. So I imagine what he has put in front of you is what he sees as a good product. But if there was feedback, I'm sure the manager would be willing to hear whatever it was that you wanted to convey to him.
Okay, thank you. My concern is just, we approve a position and then it turns into something we weren't expecting. I don't expect that to happen, but that is a concern that's been presented to me, and so I wanted to bring it up. I think the 32 weeks, with a cap of, give or take 18, 20 hours a week, somewhere in that range, is a reasonable amount. And as Councilor Belanger said, with the amount of money we've invested in our parks, this is not a huge expenditure to take care of it. So that's kind of where I'm at. I can see both sides of the argument. I do have concerns, like Councilor Gitcher said, about losing some of our health nurses and things like that. So I'd like to see a way to bring some of that back in the future, but I understand this expenditure, and just look forward to hearing what else my colleagues have to say.
Councilor Dakota?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Quickly to the city manager. The ordinance is still the same ordinance that we saw 3 weeks ago. So that's a little bit concerning because it says full-time on it. But in your memo to the council, it does say seasonal work. So if we could clarify that. And I know Mr. Baldwin would agree with me, if that employee decided to then change his or her mind about benefits, it would have to be consistent of 18 hours each week. So let's say 1 week that person would be 15 hours, then the next 22, then the next 20, then 14. They would not be eligible for benefits. Am I correct in assuming that?
CFO?
Thank you, Councilor. We've gotten some clarification on that question that came up at the first reading of the hearing. So there's three. I have some information in response to that. There's sort of three prongs to how we determine whether an employee is eligible for health insurance. The first being the Affordable Care Act, the second being Chapter 32B, and then the third being the rules and regulations of the GIC, our health insurance provider. After some conversation with Cooking Company, our health insurance consultants, there's a 95% threshold under Chapter 32B. Right. So there's like a 5% acceptable, as long as an employer of a certain size is providing health insurance for 95% of its employee base. There's no penalties or consequences for the employer. To your question, though, if an employee were to have a qualifying event or were to seek employment, we would analyze their employment over an average of a year to determine whether they are eligible. That is not our expectation in the beginning, but it's impossible to predict what the circumstances may be with.
But at this point, there are no benefits.
At this point, there are no benefits. There would not be an offer of benefits right now.
All right. For the amount of money that we're talking about, 45 to 50,000, this is money well spent. I will be voting in favor of this. Thank you.
Councilor Gitcher?
I just want to clarify a few things that have been said. Yes, we put money into parks, but we've also put it into salaries and wages. We went from $1.4 million to 1.9, $500,000 increase since FY23. We've also gone from $30,000 in overtime to $155,000 budgeted. In salaries and wages temporary, we went from $50,890 to $100,000 last year. So we have managed it, and at the same time, we didn't put the same monies that we put into our parks, into our fire stations, our police stations, buildings, and more. So I think we have invested into the Parks Department. The bottom line is that at some point we have to rein it in, and at some point, just because there's funding left over in salaries and wages permanent, maybe that's the reason why the parks aren't getting the conditions they're in, because we don't have the right number yet. And maybe there's a reason why, if that money's left over, that we can backfeed into the free cash that we just took $2 million and gave it to the schools out of. That's why we left those positions there. That's why we knew the money was going to be there. That's why many of us looked and said, okay, and we talk about our bond rating and stuff like that, and money left over at the end of the year. So I'm just saying that people who are in charge over there should be able to do this exact job, should be training people over there to do the job, should be inspecting what they're doing and making sure that they understand what they're doing. They should have at least that skill set to be able to do that. If you can't measure a baseline, if you can't go over to a monument and make sure they're cleared up, if you can't go over to certain things and make sure that it works, I don't understand why we have you. And now we got to bring in a trainer to train the people at the top and train people in between. And at some point, the resident can't afford government anymore. And we're at that point. And we need that free cash, as we're being told from everybody, so that we get our bond rating on the high school and the other projects that we have before us. We have a big bill coming this fiscal year, and we need to be serious about it. I understand our parks need, and we have the staff to do it. We've invested the money in it over the last few years. Thank you.
Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Yes.
Counsel Noon.
Yes.
Counsel Robinson.
No.
Mayor Rourke.
Yes.
Counsel Scott.
Yes.
Counsel Yem.
Yes.
Counsel Belanger.
Yes.
Counsel Chow.
Yes.
Counsel Dakota.
Yes.
Counsel Getchia.
No.
Counsel Janess.
Yes.
9 yeas.
You have two utility public hearings, both
Mr.
sent to wire inspector for public hearings first, then we'll get to you. 5.1 National Grid requests installation of a JO pole at Grove and Manahan Streets. And 5.2 National Grid requests installation of underground electric conduit for underground facilities at Middlesex Street and Eagle Court. We need a motion to, all speak in favor, in favor, in favor. In favor of this?
I'm representing National Grid.
Oh, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. We were looking for you earlier. Portion of meeting is closed. All opposition, opposition, opposition. Portion of meeting is closed. Motion by Councilor Robinson, second by Councilor Noon, to send both to a wire inspector for a report and recommendation. All in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. Returning to the City Council motions. Councilor Yum, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have guest speakers, and I would like to invite the guest speaker, Lizzie.
Is it on an item?
6.1, sir. Yes,
You want to take 6.1 out of order?
Well, it's the first one.
Councilor Yam requires City Manager to explore present recommendations for parking relief strategies to support business owners and their employees in the Acre neighborhood. Second by Councilor Mercia. Registered speakers, Mr. Clerk.
Yes. Liza Baddo.
Lizzie. Okay. Okay, go ahead. We have Lizzie Bow and
Claire from Cafe Eclipse. She's the owner.
Claire Folsom, owner of Cafe Eclipse at 12 Cardinal O'Connell Parkway. I reside at 240 Jackson Street.
Did you bring a sugar-free vanilla latte with cinnamon?
I know, I see him coming out all the time.
That's on you, that's right, yes.
I got you next time.
So should I read what I have? Okay. Hi, I'm Lizzie Bowe, and I'm here with Claire, and I'm here on behalf of the business owners and employees of the Acre business area in Lowell, Massachusetts. Respectfully, we're submitting this petition to highlight the growing need for improved parking access and long-term solutions that support the success and safety of our local business community. The Merrimack and Market Street corridor of the Acre is a food destination neighborhood with many, many diverse food businesses along a walkable stretch of street. Currently, employees of these businesses have no reasonable or safe parking accommodations. As the Acre continues to grow and attract more customers, it is essential that our parking infrastructure evolves in ways that meet the daily needs of those who work and operate in the district. So I keep going. So current challenges right now, the short-term parking limits requires employees to move their vehicles every 2 hours during shifts, significantly disrupting operations and reducing productivity. Many employees, especially women working the evening shifts, have shared concern about walking long distance to repark vehicles in less visible areas after dark. The downtown parking garage is simply too far away for workers to reasonably walk. Walking through the Acre and crossing the Dunn Street and going into downtown after closing time and at night feels unreasonable or not safe, particularly for women and younger workers. Yes.
We have a number of statements from people that work in this part of town.
You want me to read it? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So some shared personal testimonials from our business owners and employees. I step away from the register during lunch rush to move my car. It's tough on the team and our customers. As a woman walking alone at night, moving my car multiple times a shift feels unsafe. I don't feel safe walking alone to find parking at night, especially in the winter, and the current parking lot is too far. We love to focus on our service and customers instead of constantly watching the clock for parking limits or avoiding parking tickets.
I have a really brief statement from Sochetta from Golden Tea Cafe. I was going to write something, but she covers it so well. She goes, hello, I'm sure everyone as a local business owner like myself is frustrated every single day trying to find parking space while running my business. If I'm lucky enough, I may find parking space and am allowed to park for only 2 hours due to maximum hours allowed. I then have to move my car every 2 hours, which is ridiculous. How could I operate my business constantly moving my car every 2 hours? There has to be a solution to this. Hope the City of Lowell hears our concerns and comes up with solutions. It really is difficult, especially so many of the businesses in that area are food businesses, and we operate on cycles, you know, the rhythm of the day, lunch rush, dinner rush, what have you. And if your parking is up at, and you've got a line of customers in front of you, and you see parking enforcement, and like, you know, you want to follow the rules, but you can't leave the customers to go move your car, and then you're incurring fines. And it really creates a challenge. When we had a business meeting last month where we brought up our concerns to Councilor Yam, and he suggested that we use the parking garages, but there simply aren't any in that part of town. We would need to cross Dutton Street to get to the HCID garage, and at night, if you're carrying a deposit, it just isn't safe. So we're asking the city to look into options specifically within I'm so sorry. Specifically within the Acre business neighborhood, so that we can have safer and more feasible parking options within that part of town.
Thank you. Mr. Manager.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through the council. Ladies, thank you very much for being here. This is an ordinance that we have been working on, and the council has weighed in. I'm hoping in the next 4 to 6 weeks that we will have it. Changing the ordinance, cleaning up the ordinance isn't exactly as easy as everybody would think it would be. But I'm going to be requesting that the council lift the 2-hour ban, if you would, to 4 hours, or allow me to, the administration, to do different things in different neighborhoods. So, however, I'd love to get you a garage built in your area, but I'm not going to tell you that's going to happen. Yeah. Someone just had a heart attack here, the CFO. But we definitely will work with this, and I'm hearing you. I've heard the council. The council's been all over this. We're just working to try to clean up that the ordinance itself.
Thank you. I know we've brought it up specifically for the downtown area.
That's correct.
Since opening in the Acre, I've noticed like the challenge is even more so. So thank you very much for working on that. We appreciate it.
Councilor Yam.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I want to thank Claire and Lizzie for coming up. Taste the Acre is part of the TDI district. TDI stands for Transformative Development Initiative, and the Acre has been designated as a TDI district. Nate Robinson was a fellow, and now he was promoted to be the director of the whole TDI project in the Commonwealth. The Acre is one of the 13 TDI districts, and Lizzie had been hired to continue as a coordinating, working with local businesses in the Acre as a TDI district and coordinator. I was invited to speak to to attend the meeting last July 22nd, and the business owner, all of them agree that they would like the city to help them, particularly the business owner and employee. And there should be a certain incentive, like for employee, should be a pass. And then since the Acre does not have a garage of its own, but the city parking lot, maybe after 5, the lot right next to the Friends and Now O'Share, that business owner and employee should be able and allowed to park there. But also the city has a parking behind next to Santander Bank. This is, I believe that's a city parking lot right there along that area. So the business owner, as one of the business owners said, she had a surgery and she had to keep moving the car every 2 hours. So we're here and the business are here to seek support and then understanding to allow the business and employee a certain path to park, without having to keep moving their car every 2 hours. And I appreciate them and appreciate you support Manager Golden, and thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Mercia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I know what I say is not going to make you feel any better, but I can relate to you completely. Last week, or a week and a half ago, we went downtown as a council to support Brood Awakening and Andy that was celebrating 20 years of being in the city. And the man next door that runs this shop came and wished him congratulations, and we got to talking, and I said, oh, I like to go in your store. So, like a curiosity kills the cat, I went next door and took a little bit too long, and I came out to be greeted by a $25 ticket. So there goes my kindness, and I can understand your frustration. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Councilor Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I paid the ticket, incidentally. I'm sorry. I paid it. I paid it.
Good clarification. Just a quick comment on it. Councilor Dakota and I had made a motion a while back about a monthly parking permit. I don't think we received any response on that. We had just done it around the downtown area, but if it could be considered to expand that response to the Acre neighborhood, it just really makes sense. The town that I work in has a $50 a month kind of unlimited employee parking pass, so you don't have to move your car every couple hours. So if we could go back and revisit that. Thank you.
Councilor Janess.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you to you two for being here to speak on this, and thanks to Councilor Yem for putting this forward. Obviously, we've had a lot of parking discussions on this floor during my 4 years here, and it's something that we're working on, and I look forward to getting the ordinance back so we can move forward on it. I know that Councilor Dakota and I filed something quite a while ago to try and update things. Obviously, we made changes last April. Some were beneficial, some prevented other challenges, but there's opportunity here. There's opportunity for the city to be creative. Whether it's looking at different streets that might make sense for different lengths of time, or increasing the rate over time, or employee parking passes. There's lots of options here. We just got to figure out what works, and I don't think that we're going to solve all the parking issues in the city with whatever comes forward in the next 4 to 6 weeks. I'm sure we'll have more discussions and other challenges that we see that come up as we make these changes and iterate on it. But I would like to see us continue to do that and continue to work with the businesses, the employees, the folks who come to patronize the businesses, the residents, even the city employees who have to park around town. There's a lot of challenges, and there's just not enough parking spaces for everybody to park exactly where they want to be for free all the time. And so it creates these challenges, but we'll continue to work through it. And I look forward to seeing the ordinance. So thank you.
Councilor Chow.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you can hear, I think every councillor in this chamber have made one motion or another about parking issues. Just on different neighborhoods throughout the city, and I also want to bring to attention, I know, Mr. Manager, you can be very busy working with ordinance, trying to solve all the parking issues. I had one motion a few weeks ago that sort of encompassed the entire city that maybe, as the councilor mentioned and other people mentioned, maybe have the parking allowance in a residential area. Basically a business parking pass of some sort. I'm sure you're going to put all the motions by the many councils throughout the year into those ordinances, and we look forward to reviewing them and make sure that we in this chamber that we support our local business and our residents as much as we can. Thank you.
Councilor Gitcha.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, to the manager, how long do you think before you'll come back to us with something?
Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through the council. I'm thinking next 4 to 6 weeks. And trying to undo, this is not the attorney here, but they're trying to undo all the layers over the decades. We have certain streets that you can't do this, you can't do that, and the next street you can do whatever you want. So there is some challenges there, and what I may suggest and what we may come back with is, once again, to allow the administration, because the council is very, very involved, to change it by neighborhood as needed, as we see needed. The finances will always lie with the council. So, I wouldn't have the opportunity to raise fees or anything like that. That'd be although the council could give those to me if you wished. I'm kidding. That was a total joke, Councilor Janess. But, you know, it's really trying to undo decades of just layers, layer on, layer on, layer on, and, you know, giving us, from the administration standpoint, with approval from the council, just to say, hey, let's try this $50 piece that I think that Councilor Yem and Councilor Scott were talking about. Hey, is it possible? Can we park behind the library, et cetera? And I hope that's what you're going to see. I know that's what you're going to see in the next probably 4 to 6 weeks, if that answers your question, Council.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. I think that you just highlighted 4 to 6 weeks for them, so hopefully we can get back to that. And I won't hold it to you because I know it can change rapidly. Thank you.
It's only 300 pages long, so we're going to try to, we're bringing that down, correct? Yeah.
All in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. Also, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, can we take 8.7 out of order?
I'll object to that just because I know we have folks who are here to speak on 6.2.
No problem, no problem.
6.2, Councilor Yem requests city manager and election department explore relocating the District 7 polling location from the Lowell Senior Center to the Starklosa Middle School. Second by Councilor Janess. Councilor Yem.
There is registered speakers here.
Clerk.
Victoria Voice.
Thank you. I'm Victoria Voice. I live at 265 Dutton Street. I'm a registered voter in District 7. I'm also vice chair of Ward 7 for the Lowell Democratic City Committee. I've also worked at the Senior Center polling location for the past few elections. So I'm asking if this passes, if you move the polling location, to please implement a heavy-duty informational campaign across the district so we can avoid any drop in voter participation. People have been voting at the Senior Center for decades, and I've seen that confusion and frustration on people's faces when they come in to vote, where they always have, and their polling location has suddenly been moved to some other place, but they walk to the Senior Center, they don't have a car, and it's the last day to vote. So I understand the responsibility is partly on the voter to make sure they know where their voting location is, but I would just ask that if this passes, you make this location change as smooth as possible for the voters by heavily advertising about this. Even start, if it passes, start this September 9th. Have information on the tables at the Senior Center for September 9th and November 4th. On top of a heavy-duty informational campaign for the next few election cycles, even up to 2028, because a lot of people just vote for the presidential election. So we already have a hard enough time getting people to vote, so let's not make it any harder. Thanks.
That's true. Great job.
Marissa DuPont.
Hi, everyone. Sorry about the laptop. I don't have a printer at home. My name is Marissa DuPont. I live at 46 Carlisle Street in Lowell. I'm on the coordinating committee of Solidarity Lowell, a member of Lowell Together, and I'm on the board of Merrimack Valley Project. When redistricting was implemented in the past, it led to a decrease in voters. Some constituents showed up to vote only to realize they were at the wrong polling location. Some went home because they either were discouraged or, more commonly, had a limited amount of time to vote before they had to get back to work, for instance. Moving a polling location, informing the public of the move, and the public receiving that information takes years to implement. Even under normal circumstances, it isn't worth the effort unless there is a critical flaw at its current location. The argument of moving the Senior Center polling location due to limited parking is a weak one at best. The location has plenty of parking. There is even an entire plaza across the street that has hundreds of parking spots. On top of that, by law, each polling location must be compliant with the Americans with Disabilities Act, or the ADA for short. All polling locations must be verified to be ADA compliant, and most of them are not. All the schools, including the Stocklosa, have had various complaints about their better ADA accessibility over the years, while the senior center is one of the most ADA compliant buildings in the city. Moving District 7 polling location would require verifying whether or not the Stocklosa is 100% ADA compliant as per the law, and would take time and resources to assess and make improvements. Moving the polling location during a crucial election year would make voting more inaccessible than its intended goal. It would cause more confusion, it would cost the city more resources to inform the public, and it would lower voter turnout for years to come. Please do not move the District 7 polling place. Thank you.
Councilor Young.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I just want to thank our speaker who came to speak. I am personally in favor of the senior center. However, this council have heard the election at the senior center disrupt the services to our senior citizen at the senior center. And let me clarify, this motion is not to move the election from the senior center at this election cycle. This is something that, as a council, we asked Mr. Rosenberry to come up with alternative to the senior center. So Mr. Rosenberry reached out to me, and we talked. And to me, Stocklosa is accessible, equitable, that everyone will have plenty of place to park, and also compliance with the ADA as well. So I would turn to Mr. Rosenberry, let him do the talking. Thank you.
Councilor Scott.
I'd just make one quick comment on this. I know during our election subcommittee, we had a discussion about other polling locations that were concerns. I would just hope that this is going to be done all at once, make our final decisions where we're going to keep them for the long term. And just, it is very difficult, voters going back and forth to different polling places, especially over the last few elections. So we just do it once. We have a massive educational campaign. We do multiple mailings to let people know. And that's all that I would suggest. Thank you.
Councilor Getchia.
Thank you, Mayor. Could we hear from the election director on this piece? Because I just think that moving these, and he has the skill set to tell us, okay.
Well, the council wants to speak on it too. We'll get to it.
Can we hear from him just beforehand? Then it may stop people from speaking, that's all.
Councilor, you want to speak first, or want to hear Mr. Rosenberg? Councilor, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I share speaker concern. I know that accessibility is very critical for a lot of the Acres people. They walk to the poll. We do have, in terms of parking, I don't think we are short of parking for the senior center and or using the plaza next door. As far as the familiarity, people come and vote in that place for a long time. This is the first time. I don't work for the senior center. I'm not senior center director, but this is the first time I heard that voting in this location interrupt the service at the senior center. Is there a report on that, Mr. Manager?
Mr. Manager.
Good evening. I am Will Rosenberry, Election Director here. So just to back up, so this discussion came out of an election subcommittee meeting a few months ago in which we discussed one of the concerns would have been the availability of Lowell High School. Talking with the schools, I believe Lowell High School will be available, and on September 9th, we will be using, we will have a Ward 7 Precinct 2 vote over there. Essentially, I'm Switzerland on the polling locations.
Mr. Rosenberg, the question was, have any complaints about the senior center?
Complaints from the senior center. From the management of the senior center, yes, it is disruptive to the senior activities. Not some election day, they can work with it. We also use it for early voting. I think, a lot of their suggestions that the senior center is for senior activities.
Thank you.
To answer that question.
Councilor Noon, anything else?
I yield to.
Councilor Getchia, go ahead.
So if we use it for early voting, why would we not use it on election day would be the question. If we're going to use it for early voting, why would we not use it that day too?
That's what we had to decide today. It's a motion in front of us.
Yeah, that's what I'm not understanding why.
We can vote no.
Because you can't use the stock closer for early voting.
Councilor Robinson, go ahead.
I don't.
Thank you. Thank you for the clarification about the impacts on the seniors, but I think with an election right around the corner, I mean, I don't know if it's okay with the maker of the motion. Can we send this to like an election subcommittee to discuss once we get through this election? Because
I think there's enough time.
for one, where's the district as far as, are they looking for this change as well? Because it seems like, you know, you have somebody that's responsible at the senior center saying that it's an inconvenience, but yet the voters don't seem to be in favor of this. So I think if it's okay with the maker of the motion, would you be okay with sending this to a subcommittee for maybe further discussions on successor years? Because right now, it doesn't seem like there's anything that would warrant even this discussion right now.
Hey, let's just want to take a roll call first, see what happens with the roll call. Mr. Clerk, roll call.
What's the roll call? What do we,
On the motion.
to support it or not yet? Okay.
Councilor Jessica, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. No worries. I just wanted to make the point that if parking is a concern, we know that the Walgreens is unfortunately closing. That's just going to make more parking be available in the short term. Who knows what happens with that space going forward? But I would like to see this motion amended, if it's okay with the maker of the motion, to specifically state that it is not for the elections in the year 2025. Just so that anyone who looks at the minutes of the meeting or has any questions, it's crystal clear that the senior center will be a voting location this fall. We're less than a month away from the preliminary, which will have voting in that district. So I think it's very important we're very clear on this tonight.
Vice Mayor stated that in his opening remarks, that it wouldn't be for this cycle. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
May I make a comment quickly, Mr. Mayor?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Can I just say one thing? Let's keep in mind that the person that came up there to speak, the first person, works at the polls. Who would know better than the person that works there? I don't know that. She does know that. Yes, I support the motion.
Councilor Yami, anything else?
The Councillor Jeunesse asked to amend that this motion will be looking forward to the future of the election, not this election. I just want to make sure that clear, Mr. Clerk.
Motion amended to include not for this election cycle in 2025. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Council Mercia.
Yes.
Council Noon.
No.
Council Robinson.
No.
Mayor Rourke.
No.
Council Scott.
Yes.
Council Yem.
Yes.
Council Belanger.
No.
Council Chow.
No.
Council Dakota.
No.
Council Getchia.
No.
Council Jeunesse.
No.
Motion fails.
6.3, Councilor Yam requests city manager work with the appropriate department to evaluate and implement traffic calming measures at the intersection of Acre and Merrimack Streets to address the ongoing safety concerns and frequent accidents that have resulted in damage to personal properties and buildings. Second by Councilor Scott. Councilor Yam.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This motion was brought to me by the resident who live at 738 and 744 Merrimack Street. Aiken Street southbound will end where Merrimack Street, creating the T, and these two properties are located right at that intersection. The resident who live there endure many accidents when people drive so fast, they turn around and damage the parked car in front of the building. Last year, a resident came to talk to the councilor that her grandson was standing on the sidewalk, was hit by a car who make a really wide turn and was speeding and hit the child waiting for the school bus in the morning. So this motion asking our traffic engineer to look into the safety. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 6.4 been withdrawn.
Mr. Mayor, can we take up 8.7 since Mr. Rosenberry's already here?
Councilor Dakota to take. I'm sorry, what was it again, Councilor?
8.7.
8.7 out of order, second by Councilor Jeunesse. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 8.7 a vote. The 2025 early voting preliminary election. A motion to adopt by Councilor Dakota, second by Councilor Getchia. Roll call.
Mayor Rourke, I just have one question for Mr. Rosenberry really quickly.
Rosenberry?
Just so I'm clear, Mr. Manager, on Tuesday nights, we're open till 8 o'clock, right?
Every Tuesday night.
Every Tuesday night. So I would think I would make a motion to amend this Tuesday, September 2nd, to 9 to 8, rather than the 6 o'clock, since the personnel are already here at City Hall. That would give people the extra 2 hours who work a little bit later to come and vote. And I guess I would make that the same thing for the election in November, in October, I mean, election early voting.
Sure. Seconded by Councilor Getchia. Mr. Rosenberry, all set with, does that agree with you?
That is okay with me, absolutely. We're not doing it at City Hall, we are doing it at the Senior Center, but we can absolutely get it staffed till 8 p.m., no problem. If I could make a quick request, could we perhaps amend the Saturday hours to go until 5 p.m. for both of the events?
Getchia, seconded by Councilor Mercia. All those in favor say
Sure.
aye. Opposed, motion
Okay.
passes.
Yep.
And I'll get those validated by the Election Commission at a meeting next week. Yeah, no problem.
Roll. Just ask for a pay raise while you're at it.
Say it again?
You're on a roll. Just for
Yeah.
a pay raise while you're at it.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Council Mercia.
Yes.
Council Noon.
Yes.
Council Robinson.
Yes.
Mayor Rourke.
Yes.
Council Scott.
Yes.
Council Yem.
Yes.
Council Belanger.
Yes.
Council Chow.
Yes.
Council Dakota.
Yes.
Yes. Council Getchia.
Yes.
Council Janess.
Yes.
11 yeas.
Rosenberry, thank you very much. 6.5, Councilor Getchia requests City Manager provide the City Council with an update on the trees removed from the conservation land on Townsend Ave. Seconded by Councilor Janess. Councilor Getchia.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, to Manager Golden, could you give us an update on that? You don't have to write it in a report if you know something. I just think that as we start talking about conservation land and people cutting it down, this is one of the other reasons why a tree committee would be very valuable, because we need to set stringent fines for this stuff that says, we're not going to allow this, and if you get caught, we're going to fine you heavy, because it's definitely impacting the wildlife in that area and the community and the environment. So if you could, either if you want to elaborate tonight, if you know something, if not.
Mr. Manager, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through the council. Yes, Councilor, this was brought to our attention via email. We want to thank the folks for staying over there, staying intact. But enforcement was sent out. It was stopped. They will be before the Conservation Commission, and due to the Wetlands Protection Act, Conservation Commission, Mr. Machado, will be deciding if there's any fines of any sort, and replanting. So the Conservation Commission is aware of what's happening, and will rectify the situation by the next Conservation Commission hearing.
I don't know if you know this answer. It's just a question. What would the stiffest fine be levied against someone for doing that? Just replanting, and would it be pennies? If you could get that back.
Could get
to us, 'cause
back-
I just
get
think we're not holding people accountable. They cut it down, go, oh, sorry, and then here we are again. But it definitely has a natural habitat over there with those trees, and I'm just saying that cutting it down is creating some difficulties for some wildlife.
If it's okay with you, Assistant City Manager Machado will send out to the entire council what the fees, fines, and penalties are.
Thank you.
Anything else on this motion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. Councilor Yem, go ahead.
May I suspend the rule and request 12.3 to have Mr. Kafasis speak? He's been patiently waiting.
Motion by Councilor Yem, take 12.3 miscellaneous out of order, seconded by Councilor Mercia. All in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 12.3 miscellaneous. Charles Kafasis requests permission to address City Council regarding resident parking and trash cart collection in the area of Vonnie and Mount Vernon Streets.
Hi, my name is Charles Kafasis. I live at 141 Mount Vernon Street. I've been here a long time, and for now, it's residential parking of the dwelling. My sign was taken down by the city of Lowell, and without me even knowing about it, I called the police, and the police told me the city of Lowell took it down. So I wasn't too happy about that. Now, every year I was paying $10, to have the sticker put on every year. It went up to $120 from $10. And I come to find out they didn't take all the signs down that were expired. Some were expired more than mine was only expired a couple of months. Some was years. And when I used to go renew my residential parking plaque, I used to tell the lady down at the parking division, the people down there. They said, well, we just don't enforce it. We can't do nothing about it. We don't pull the signs. So now I look all over the city, and even on my street. Now, there's still signs over there that expired, and they didn't take them down. They put a violation sticker on them, but they didn't do that on mine. They took the whole plaque down. So now I come down to the city, and the city says, well, inspectional service took it down. So I went down to the inspectional service. Well, we couldn't take it down. She says, that's why. Okay? And I said, so now, what kind of baloney is that? We have the best people that work here in the city of Lowell, and they don't have a bolt cutter to cut a bolt down. Mine was on a bolt, and they took it down. So these violation stickers, too, they put on, they just take them off. And you can go down the street on, Butterfield Street, all over the city of Lowell. So now, I don't think that's right. And we have residential across I have the whole corner, Mount Vernon and Viney Street. And the other side is they have residential parking only. And on my side, they don't on the other side, the other side of my house. And so what do? They park over there. So that's not fair, not just for me, but for the rest of the residents on the street. And why shouldn't there should be residential all the way down, even the Broadway. I don't care what they do, but there's no reason why it's not in front of my house. So I don't think that's right either. And so I came here one time before because I had the residential parking plaque over there in front of my house, and the police wouldn't enforce it. Instead, they arrested me because they didn't want to enforce the sign. And we went to court, and what happened? The court threw it out. And the cop, the bad cop, was supposed to come, according to the ordinance of the city of Lowell, supposed to come and give a ticket and leave. No discussion. And I come to find out, too, I go down, a lot of good people here in the city of Lowell. The clerk's office, the mayor's office, the guy that just took the picture, he's very good. He was out, and people from the manager's office were working there. They're a waste. They're no good at all. I tell you right now, they should be all fired. And so now, they arrested me. I should have sued the city. In fact, the lawyers told me I had a good case. I didn't do it because I just didn't want any troubles. So now, I go down the city of Lowell. They say, well, we're having people go around pick up the signs, but they're not picking up. Don't laugh, because this is serious. Okay, we had it out with you before. Okay? You wouldn't let me in the office, remember?
Just say your point, please. Let's go, come on.
I'm sorry, all right, okay?
Just wrap it up.
You shouldn't be laughing, all right? This is serious business, all right?
You've had 5 minutes. Just
Okay,
wrap it up, please.
all right, I'm gonna help, fast, okay? So now, when they hired the city manager, everything, I said, I'm not up, it's up to the city manager, to take complaints. Not to go in front of the city council. But the city manager's office says, go in front of the city council with your complaints. Don't take it up with us. So that's something for you people to do something about. Now, I don't know about your people that voted for you and everything, but you think it's fair now that someone should pay, a resident of Lowell should pay $120 when the businesses get them for free and this and that? From $10, $120. If the police didn't want to enforce it, well, why didn't they turn around and up the fee so people don't park there? Okay?
So, Mr. Scott,
All right.
thank you very much. We have your paperwork. We're going to put it on
All
file.
right. I'll just let you know, too, that guy there wouldn't let me speak in front of the office. He kicked me out, so I'll let you know, all right?
That's right. You got it.
All right, but let's be realistic here. It's not fair to the people here. We voted for the councilors and voted for you two, right? And, if you think it's fair that the homeowners should pay $120, I don't think so. And other people have the signs that's still up. Now, I paid for that guy to go around and pick them up. He should pick them up, all of them.
Got a motion to accept the place on file by
All
Council
right,
Scott,
I'm
second by
sorry.
Council Yam. All those in favor say aye. Opposed,
I
motion
wouldn't have
passes.
come here if the city did the job to begin with. all right?
appreciate it.
I'm
Councilor
sorry
Ness?
to bother you, all right? Have a nice day.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. While we're under suspension of the rules, I'd like to move to take item 10.1, please.
By Council Jeanette, second by Council Robinson, to take item 10.1 out of order. All in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 10.1 is an ordinance from the city manager to amend Chapter 266, electric vehicles. We have to refer to a public hearing on September 9th, 2025 at 7 p.m. by Council Jeanette, second by Council Mercia.
There are registered speakers, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Clerk.
Sean McDonough.
Hi, I'm going to go really fast because that was fun. I can laugh. I understand thank you, Mr. Mayor, thank you, Wayne, for letting me up here. I understand the need of the council, the desire of the council to fix some of the holes in the parking enterprise fund, especially around the $150,000 in electricity. And this is not the public hearing, but before we get there, I think it would be beneficial if we distinguished between street chargers and garage chargers. So the way this ordinance is currently written, there would be the 4-hour limit is going to apply both on the street and in the garages. If you live downtown, like I do, and many of the people in my building who also have plug-in cars, the car takes more than 4 hours to fully charge. And so the way this ordinance is currently written, your car could wind up with half of a charge or less than that, but then you would begin incurring this $50 fine from the parking department for being in excess of the 4-hour charge time in the garage. That's at the core of what I was here for, but looking at what other cities do, ChargePoint, which is the company that the city uses for these stations, is capable of assessing these fees themselves without having parking enforcement do it. So they have idle fees. So we could structure this ideally that ChargePoint, if you finish charging, can give you a 30-minute grace period. The city of Worcester gives a 2-hour grace period. I think 30 minutes to an hour is ample time here. And then it begins charging $2 per hour. Other municipalities do a buck a minute. That's all I'm looking for, is get rid of the 4-hour. Inside the garage, if we could get rid of the 4 hours and instead do a grace period and then idle time. Idle time being time that your car is plugged in and not charging. I really hope that made sense. I've been here for like 5 hours.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Council Getchia.
There's Eric Every. Not a bad idea.
Thank you, Mayor Rourke. Through you to Manager Golden, can we revisit this before it gets to the stage? I just think that the 4 hours, can we look at changing it to 6 hours with that detention time there to get back there so that they don't get fined right away? Because I do understand the question comes down to if you come in at like, say, 7 o'clock at night, and now enforcement's done at 10, now you're going to be there till the morning anyway. So there's just a couple little things that if we could look at, I think there's value in on-street charging in downtown at the charging stations that are on the street themselves. Shouldn't those rates be higher than they are in the garage?
Mr. Manager.
Good, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through to the council, I apologize. We were talking about that. You threw a curveball off of Hurd Street there. We can take this back and revisit some of these challenges or thoughts and bring it back, what I said, 4 to 6 weeks on the parking ordinance as a whole, if you'd like. If that's
Motion to withdraw 10.1.
I just want to, I don't want to hold it up because it's $150,000 we're talking about in revenue, but I'm just saying that, on-street parking should be more towards the 40 cents than the 35. So in a garage it should be 35, we should max on the other end so that if they're on-street charging, then it should be more money.
Any changes anyway have to be reposted.
Yep,
again.
thank you.
Motion withdrawn by Councilor Getchia, second by Councilor Dakota. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes.
Mr. Mayor, do you mind if I just make a quick point, which is just talking about the 4-hour limit and people charging in the garage. The ordinance is specific that the 4-hour limit does not apply overnight. So for residents downtown who park their car after work, it says no limit starts at 10. Maybe we can move that to 8. You know, whatever makes sense, just so people can come home from work, park their car, leave it there till the morning, and then off to work they go, would be good.
A motion by Councilor Mercia, seconded by Councilor Robinson, to take 8.3 out of order. All in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 8.3, a vote to apply, accept, and expend $5 million Green Schools Work Grant. Motion to adopt by Councilor Dakota, seconded by Councilor Chow. We do have Ms. Moses here. Any questions for her? Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Council Mercia.
Yes.
Council Noon.
Yes.
Council Robinson.
Yes.
Mayor Rourke.
Yes.
Council Scott.
Yes.
Council Yem.
Yes.
Council Belanger.
Yes.
Council Chow.
Yes.
Council Dakota.
Yes.
Council Getchia.
Yes.
Council Janice.
Yes.
11 years.
Mr. Mayor, could we, through you, ask the manager if there's anything pressing on this agenda that needs to be taken out of order before the 10 o'clock limit, and get that done first?
I got conference.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
thank you.
supposed to speak on the garbage too, on the garbage right here on the thing, okay? All right, so now,
Everybody, 6.6, Councilors Robinson and Getchia request City Manager over the Department of Department to craft a stormwater ordinance related to any project increasing impervious surfaces, forcing stormwater into a public way. No second needed, gentlemen.
Do you think this would be better served to be sent to like environmental subcommittee to have that conversation?
By Councilor Robinson, second by Councilor Getchia. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 6.7, Councilors Robinson and Getchia request City Manager have the city solicitor reach out to the Springfield, Mass. Law Department and bring back a recommendation on a collaboration between our two cities regarding strengthening drug rules in city parks. No second needed.
This is on the heels of, I know that they're working on some legislation down in Springfield, couple councilors, kind of strengthening open use, drug use after a 4-year-old child stepped on a hypodermic syringe. So I think it's a good opportunity with the 4th and 5th largest cities in the Commonwealth to try to potentially collaboratively work together on something that I think we're both challenged with, so.
All in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 6.9, Councilor Robinson. Request City Manager provide a report on current city-provided pest control measures in place and what options exist for residents challenged with these issues due to development projects occurring in their neighborhood. Seconded by Councilor Noon. Councilor Robinson.
Thank you. This was brought to my attention, especially with the work on 110. I'm hearing from some residents, you know, whether it's river rat nests or whatever was disturbed as a result of construction projects, they're starting to be seen in some of the residential areas. And so I think anything that we could try to do to help mitigate some of that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Councilor Scott.
Just a quick response. I'm also getting concerns around Chelmsford and Plain Street. And I did send those on to Lisa Golden. Just when the response comes back, if we can include how residents are supposed to reach out about rodent. I think there was a special number or something that was specifically for that, because she had not received any concerns, but I had received them. So thank you.
6. All in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 6.10, Councilor Robinson requests City Manager work with the Department of Transportation and the proper departments to provide recommendations to ensure safety around the pump house on the VWF Highway in Centerville.
Second.
By, who said that? Councilor Janice. Councilor Robinson.
This motion pretty much is on the heels of, we had a pretty bad car accident over there. I don't know what was damaged, city property, state property, but any recommendations moving forward would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
All in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. Councilor, you got something?
If I may take 8.4 out of order, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Yam, take 8.4 out of order. Second by Councilor Scott. All in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 8.4 is a vote to amend number 5 to lease to the Registry of Motor Vehicles. A motion to adopt by Councilor Dakota, second by Councilor Belanger. Any questions or comments, Mr. Manager? Anybody here to speak on this?
Mr. Mayor, that's an extension for the contract.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Council Mercia.
Yes.
Council Robinson.
Yes.
Council Noon.
Yes.
Mayor Rourke.
Yes.
Council Scott.
Yes.
Council Yem.
Yes.
Council Belanger.
Yes.
Council Chow.
Yes.
Council Dakota.
Yes.
Council Getchia.
Yes.
Council Janice.
Yes.
Turn to the motions. 611. Councilor
Mr. Mayor, can we do 8.1, 8.6, 8.1, 8.2, and 8.6 out of order, please?
Yeah, bundle. Second.
What's going on, guys?
By Council Dakota, second by Council Mercia, take the rest of the votes out of order. 8.1, a vote to accept and expend $44,300 local health support for COVID-19 grant. 8.2, vote to accept and expend state 911 department grants, Lowell Police Department. And 8.6, a vote to declare 186 Dalton Street a surplus. Questions or comments on any of these? Motion to adopt by, approved by Council Gitchis, second by Council Janess. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Council Mercia.
Yes.
Council Noon.
Yes.
Council Robinson.
Yes.
Mayor Rourke.
Yes.
Council Scott.
Yes.
Council Yem.
Yes.
Council Belanger.
Yes.
Council Chow.
Yes.
Council Dakota.
Yes.
Council Getchia.
Yes.
Council Janesh.
Yes.
Any others? 6.11, Council Noon requests City Council adopt a resolution in support of de-escalation of the conflict with Thailand and restoration of peace and security that respects Cambodia's sovereignty. Seconded by Council Yam. Council.
Mr. Mayor, I'll speak on it when the resolution return. I'll come.
All in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 6.12, Council Noon requests City Manager work with the Superintendent of Police to provide an update on the Law Enforcement Trust Fund, including how funds have been spent. Seconded by Councilor Scott. Council Noon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is regularly council, after council has asked for this, update on this trust fund. I also want to know too is that what eligible for the fund, and what are the different category of those funds. So we can talk about it when the report come back. We can have more say. Will have more say when the report come back. Thank you.
All in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 6.13, Council Dakota requests City Manager provide an update regarding the VFW building on Plain Street. Second by Council Mercia. Council Dakota.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to Assistant City Manager Baez-Rose. It's been probably 6, maybe 7 years since the VFW has been closed. Do you have any updates, or do you want to send a report, or send a report? Okay, that'd be fine. Thank you.
All in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Council Mercia.
On that motion that Councilor Dakota has, would anything be available, like what is the story with that general public hearing of 1190 Pawtucket Boulevard? Were the veterans interested in that at any point? Oh, that's not the one? I don't know if that's a property, but do we know anything about that? They
that's
changed the zoning, but
That's a different property.
it's a different property. Okay, thank you. Just wondered. Sorry, Mr. Mayor, sorry.
6.14, Council Dakota requests City Manager work with the DPD to repurpose Calorie Park. Second by Council Chow. Council Dakota.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In the last 2 weeks, in driving by Calorie Park, in Zabo Field and I believe Conroy Field, all I've seen is volleyball nets being put up by children over there. Obviously, we've seen a decline in baseball participation, and right now, in speaking with the Highland officials in their league, Mr. Rourke, Mr. Lasher, they feel that the Bailey School, Lou Craft, and those fields there can adequately handle the baseball and softball needs of the children of the Highlands. So I would look at Ms. Baez-Rose maybe repurposing that, maybe taking Conroy Field, which is on the B Street side, and looking at that as maybe a volleyball center, volleyball type of play, or soccer field. But right now, I believe there have been no permits for either one of those fields by the Highland Softball or Baseball League. So we can come up with a report on that.
How's it get you?
Thank you, Mayor Rourke. Was it last week, Mr. Manager, they went out for an RFP for the use of Calorie Park, which I wish we would pull that RFP and then talk to the neighbors, because before we get into these back and forths on maybe an outside agency taking control of this park, and I understand the city has rights within that request for proposal to designate what uses it can be at, I think that we need to step back because loud use from, say, Lowell Catholic coming over and using that will create a nightmare. I remember when I was on the board over there and we went to put lights in over there, the neighborhood pushed back. I think we really need to dial this down, pull that RFP, and then go to the neighbors first before we just try to say, hey, we did this to the neighborhood, 99-year lease and agreement. Go ahead, through you, Mr. Mayor, to the manager.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. The RFP will absolutely have to be ratified by this board, so we would have an idea of any potential partners that would come in. They would have to tell us what they want to do, how they'd want to accomplish. So just in my opinion, we might want to, maybe somebody would come back, maybe somebody wouldn't, but if somebody does, they're going to have to ask permission by this council. And at that point in time, I think we could engage our local families and on B Street, et cetera, our local residents to make sure it is something that they would want the council to do. That's just my opinion.
I think that we're putting the cart before the horse, and we all know that someone wants this. I have spoken to people.
But they still have to come to us.
No, I understand that, but before even getting to that stage, we should talk to the neighbors. We all know what wants to happen there is Lowell Catholic needs a space. Manning Field wasn't really suitable for what they wanted to use it for, and now Callery seems to be the spot. The problem is that we have to really get engagement from the neighborhood, or Councilor Chow and Councilor Dakota, we're going to have major issues up there. And I don't know that we want to rely on 8 other people when we can just sit here and say, here we are, and this is what we want to see. I don't even know if the other councils have had a chance to review that RFP yet, but 9-year agreement is a long time, and I just want to make sure, because there'd be a major...
I agree wholeheartedly with you, but we don't know what the plan could be.
There would be a major investment into that field.
Sure.
And it just, the neighborhood and disrupting the neighborhood could be a
100
major issue.
Right. But this council, if we were to move forward, the only reason I think that we continue with the RFP, and I'm glad to do whatever the council wants, is because they need to come forward with an RFP to tell us what they want. And then at that point, we can say, yes, no, yes, whichever.
Neighbors have seen the RFP and are very upset. That's what I'm getting at. And I know nothing, I see where it has the city's rights to determine where it's going, but I just think that we should have a conversation long before that RFP goes out, that's all. Before it is, I understand it is out right now, but we should have been made aware.
Thank you very much. Once again, we were operating off of another motion, trying to work with.
No, I understand that, and if that motion, if that council wants it up there, then we should put it up there.
If we want to pull it back, I'm glad to do that. I just think that the RFP itself, if someone were to answer it, and I believe somebody may answer it, they would come forward with a plan, which this council could reject. But if you would like to bring it back into the neighborhood subcommittee, I'm fine with that as well.
That would be the best thing, because I don't want the entity also to waste their time and not understand what the neighborhood wants and how they both can coexist in the same area. And they go out and spend money that is unnecessary, and then the neighborhood goes, see here. So I just think I'd like to make a motion to send this to the neighborhood.
I would send it to a subcommittee as well. I would make that motion to send it to a neighborhood subcommittee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
And pull the RFP currently and send it to a neighborhood subcommittee.
Mr. Mayor, through to the council, so we'll put that into the neighborhood subcommittee. If there's been anybody that's applied or thinking about applying, we'll have them come in and discuss it, and we'll pull the RFP, if that's okay with the council in that area.
Do we need a vote on that, or because of the RFP being out there, or? Nope?
I don't believe so.
Okay, all right.
6:15, Council Dakota requests the city manager provide an update on the request for proposal process regarding the Smith Baker Center. By Council Gitchia. Council Dakota.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Actually, if we could go to 7.2 on the informational report on Smith Baker, that Assistant City Manager Baez Rose sheds a little bit of light. I guess my only question to you is that the bidder has it in their hands as of now, because you said August 11th, so that was yesterday. Have they been sent from the law department? I guess that would go to City Solicitor Williams. Has it been sent, or through you?
I can answer that.
Okay.
It says during the week of August 11th, so we bought ourselves a little time. But we do anticipate they will get it this week. It's the law department is working on it. It's being finalized. Our version of it is being finalized, and then it will be shared with their attorney this week. So we are on track to meet that schedule.
All right, and what is the timeline on them getting back to us? And is this a negotiation that can continue, or do we have some time parameters here?
Yeah, so we did build in some sort of points of we need to have a executed purchase and sale by a certain time. So we do anticipate this will be a negotiation, that there is going to be opportunity for some back and forth. We'll be able to clarify some things. We allow them to do some due diligence, but we do have a sort of, at some point, there will be a line drawn in the sand that we have to come to an agreement, or this.
All right, past
this deal isn't
experience,
gonna work.
what time, can you give me a ballpark?
I might rely on the solicitor if he knows off the top of his head. I thought it was 90 days.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, so 90 days, that's the date that we're looking at. As Ms. Baez-Rose just mentioned, we have a draft document of the LDA that will go out by the end of the week. That will go to the attorney for the group who has been awarded the RFP. I anticipate we will get that document back, probably with some form of red lines. Hopefully it won't take us too long to kind of meet on a document that both sides are happy with. And then at that point, the city council, you all will get a chance to talk about it, see what it looks like, and then we can see if yay or nay, if we're going to go forward, if we're not going to go forward.
Okay. And I guess this to the city manager. Obviously, we know that we've had some people that have decided to become a tenant in there, and are we making sure on a daily basis that people that the building is secured or not?
Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through the council. Yes, we, matter of fact, myself and even the assistant city manager drive by to make sure in where we know there had been going in,
right,
to make sure that's secured. I can't always say that there wouldn't be some creative way of getting in there again.
Okay.
But we do keep eyes on it.
Do we have a weekend watch that would go through there as well to see if, in fact, somebody's
Assistant
trying to
City
get?
Manager Machado and myself. No, I'm not kidding. But no, it's been evident in the past.
Why do I think it's more Mr. Machado than you?
It's been evident in the past when people try to get in there. They're usually typically the first floor. So
All right.
something to be pulled back, and that's something that we pay attention to.
All right, appreciate all the answers. Thank you.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 616, Councilor Mercia requests city manager have the proper department address the problems in front of Holy Trinity Church on Lewis Street, speeding, sidewalk, and 2 damaged rubber handicap non-skid mats. Second by Councilor Noon. Councilor Mercia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I had thought that this issue was addressed quite a long while ago, and yet I heard from different parishioners there that they're concerned about the speeding, tremendous speeding. It's only a little side street, but the door to the church, you come down the steps and the sidewalk's not too far away, and children, if a child ever went out that quickly, people just speed. It's unbelievable. So I would wonder if we could put that on the list for a speed hump. I don't know if we could get away with it, but just in the immediate area, it's a one-way street, so you'd need just one speed hump a little way before the door as they're coming out. I'm afraid for the children. And there's a damaged rubber handicap nod skid mat. I sent it by way of an email so that or a text that you could see it. There, I think there's 2. One is completely gone with the rubber backing. The other one is half gone. So if we could just address those issues. Thank you so much.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 617, Councilor Janice requests city manager have the proper department inspect, secure all street and sidewalk bricks downtown. Seconded by Councilor Gitchia. Councilor Janice.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll be brief. This came out of some discussions I've had around the brick that went through the window at the Family Resource Center for the schools on Merrimack Street. And somebody pointed out that there are a lot of bricks downtown that could easily be picked up and thrown through a window. So if we can prevent that, that'd be great.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 618, Councilor Janice request city manager have the proper department update the city council on the plan to address the sinkhole and collapsing wall at the confluence of the Pawtucket Canal and Concord River. Seconded by Councilor Gitchia. Councilor Janice.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's been a good vocab night for you tonight. So this is something that someone brought to me a while ago, and I spoke to the manager about it. And the city has gone and put up barriers around the plaza, around the Pawtucket Prism public art piece. but it's still very easy for people to get in there. Myself, I just stepped over the railing that runs behind on the walkway from the Lower Locks garage over to Middlesex, and could walk right over and check it out. So I have two real concerns with this. One, I know it's going to be expensive to fix this, but it seems to be getting worse fairly quickly, and I'm afraid that it's going to be extremely expensive if that point ends up falling into the river. Secondly, it is a safety concern. When you're looking at the top where the sinkhole is in the back corner behind the art, it's open. Somebody could play around in there, whether intentionally or not, fall in, get their foot stuck, whatever. I don't want to know what would happen if a little kid was playing back there. I don't know if we can put a metal plate there to at least prevent people from going in there, or if we can better secure the plaza so that people can't walk over there as easily as I was able to. It's really sad what's happened to that area. When I first moved downtown, that was an amazing focal point for the city, that whole Lower Locks area. And unfortunately, this point has kind of gotten neglected. And it's clear it's time for some reinvestment in figuring out how to bring this back to be the space that we all hope it can be, and we know it can be. But yeah, when you look at it across the river, you can see the crack that goes down between the blocks. There's a block at the very bottom that looks like it's, going to fall into the river any day now. So whatever we can do to shore it up and build a plan to fix it going forward, I would greatly appreciate. Thank you.
All in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 619, Councilor Jeunesse, request city manager to provide an update on improvements to the intersection of Chapel and Elm Streets. Second by Councilor Noon. Jeunesse.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We've talked about this intersection before. It's very busy.
Yeah.
We've had quite a few accidents over time. Last spring, somebody went through one of the fences that's at the corner there. We talked about it, and we were going to make improvements there. There was a go slow children sign that showed up in the middle of the intersection, was there for a while. It's gone again. I know this is a concern for many of the neighbors. I hear about it a lot. I know that this intersection is on the localized paving list. My only concern there is if we pave it, it's only going to make traffic faster. So if there's something we can do as part of localized paving to do some kind of traffic calming to keep people on the road and out of the fence, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
All in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 620, Councilor Jeunesse, request city manager to provide an update on the reopening of the Riverwalk extension. Seconded by Councilor Mercia. Councilor Jeunesse.
Motion speaks for itself.
All in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. Councilor Belanger, can I take next three in order? This is all about Andover Street.
Sure.
Okay, great. 621, Councilor Belanger, request city manager have the DPD perform outreach to the Andover and High Street Business Corridor to offer incentives for facade grants and trash receptacle upgrades. 622, Councilor Belanger, request city manager have the transportation engineer review and recommend traffic measures that can be taken at the intersection of Andover Street and Clerk Road. And 623, Councilor Belanger, request city manager have the transportation engineer address parking issues at the corner of Andover Street and Putnam Road. All seconded by Councilor Mercia. Councilor Belanger.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Andover and High Street corridor has a string of rather successful ethnic eateries, if you will, that are very popular in the neighborhood, and along with some other small shops, and they all seem to do very well. But it's also run down at the same time. It's a little tired. And I know DPD, we offer facade grants, and I'm thinking they're on the outskirts of the downtown, just may not be aware of all these programs that we have at their disposal. So maybe I could suggest that DPD send somebody out there, do a little door knocking and introduce themselves and offer what we do out for grants, and see if we can help them with their clean up their facade and maybe some new trash receptacles. Sort of to clean up that little area. It's doing well, and let's see if we can enhance it. So on that front, and on the Andover and Clerk Road intersection, what I'd like the traffic engineer to do is review and recommend some safety measures. I know it's Andover Street. We've been talking about it for decades. I understand that, but there's been a high number of accidents at that intersection as of late, and I just got a call from a constituent just last week. It was a real doozy, the last one, and So there's got to be something we can do to alleviate the high accident rate on the top of Clark Road, as well as the speeding on the street that persists as well. So I look forward to the report from the traffic engineer. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Any other comments? All in favor, say, Councilor Jess.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just real quickly, thanks to Councilor Belanger for bringing this forward. I drive through this stretch every day on my way to and from work. One thing I've noticed about the Andover and High Street area is it could really use some street sweeping. The side of the road is there's a lot of debris and a lot of crud that could stand to be cleaned up. So if we can work with the neighbors to find some time to do that, I think that'd be a good add to the area.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 625. Councilor Belanger, that was heard last meeting, correct?
Yes, the remaining motions are repetitive, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah. So 625 and 626 have already been heard at prior meeting, waiting for a response. 627 and 628 are both similar, so motion to bundle by Councilor Young, seconded by Councilor Scott. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 627 by myself. Request city manager or the city council craft a joint letter to FEMA detailing all the improvements made in regard to flood prevention. And 628, request city manager reach out to federal delegation to see what appeal options are available for residents who have recently been placed in the flood plain.
Second.
By Councilor Mercia. I can speak briefly on this, and I did get a report given to me this past week, which was dated July 9th for some reason, but there seems to be an increase in the floodplain in the city of Lowell. There is, I'll forward it all to the city council so they have it as well. Also gave it to a DPD director to take a look at it. It seems as if the only notification that residents are getting is a letter from their mortgage company saying that they need to get flood insurance by the end of the month, or else they will be in default. So it's kind of confusing, some of the transcriptions that came back and forth. But Mr. Manager, if there's something we could possibly do, A, to find out if there's a public site that people could find out if they're in the floodplain, and B, what the appeal process is. The city has done an incredible amount of work over the past number of years with regards to the bladder dams, the work over on Douglas Road and Winwood Road. I did notice a number of houses, Councilor, that were on the list on Winwood Road as well. So there could be people that don't know that they're part of the floodplain, new floodplain as of July. So hopefully we can get that out there and get something going. Maybe contact, reach out to Lloyd, Congressman Trahan's office to see what we can do. But as people do know that they have flood insurance, the difference between having it and not having it is a very substantial amount of money. So with that being said, Councilor Gitche.
This is an excellent motion, Mayor Rourke. I think that we always wonder how they just define these and they change like one year to the other, and I don't think there's ever a clear answer on how. And it seems like insurance companies to government and insurance companies to government. And the sad part is that this could break a lot of people in the neighborhoods. And it's not just one neighborhood. When you look through, like you got Hollis Street, Berkeley Ave, and then you start going down Meadowcroft Street. So there's many different areas that you're seeing. There's Varnum Ave. And it's always wondering to me how they come up with these policies for someone to make money. And that's what I agree with you, and I think we do have to write to the senators and Congresswoman and make sure that we do something about this, as you highlighted in your motions. I thank you for these two motions.
So, Mr. Manager, I know you've dealt with this at the state level for a number of years. Possible appeal processes, and is it worthwhile for us to detail what we have done? From Councilor Robinson telling us to clear out the culverts, to the bladder dam, and all the work's being done in Belvedere and South Lowell in regards to this. Is this something that we can do?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through to the council. I think there is. I think we should obviously push back. In my former life, we had this issue as well, and it was right around Lakeview Ave with all the work that we did with the flooding back in that area. So it's definitely something we need to push back on. I will be reaching out to Congresswoman Trahan and really push this up the chain of command. I have so many things to say about this because I've been involved in this in the past, and it's very, very irritating because it's really about finances and how they, expend expand, I should say, into areas. So we'll work with this and find out. But the city of Lowell has done a lot, and one of them being the pump stations right on the VFW highway, which was spoke about earlier today. So we'll get a hold of the Congresswoman's office. We'll keep the council apprised of the situation, and we will continue to push back on this because this is just wrong, in my opinion.
We're talking thousands of dollars, not hundreds.
Yes, this is absolutely wrong.
Councilor Robinson?
Thank you, and I thank you both for bringing this forward. And I haven't been contacted by any residents over in the Beaver Street area yet for any increases, but please keep that in mind as well, because I know, as you mentioned, a ton of work has been done. One year it was floodplain, next year it wasn't, and again, there's no rhyme or reason really why they're doing this. Thank you.
Yeah, I does seem from the maps that was sent that it's generally a wide increase. There are people on the opposite side of Varnum Ave, on the hospital side, that are now in the floodplain. That's crazy town, you know what I mean? So, all in favor say aye, opposed. Councilor Jessica, ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I just wanted to thank you for putting this forward. It is important, and let people know, anyone who's watching, who's affected by this, the city's going to push back on the maps, as we've talked about, but I would recommend that residents, if you receive this notification from your mortgage company, double check the maps. And Mr. Manager, if there's a way we can help residents do that, what I found in my personal experience is that even though that my building wasn't in the floodplain, because we were next to a building that is, I had to go back and forth with my mortgage company for over 8 months before they admitted that they can't read a map, because they outsource all this stuff and they just rubber stamp the answer. So this is a battle that some of our residents are going to have to fight with their mortgage companies. So if there's anything we can do to help people read the maps, know how to make these appeals for people who aren't actually in the floodplain, regardless of what the map says, I think that's a service the residents would appreciate. Thank you.
Ms. Baez-Rose will be emailing that to the council momentarily. So any streets in your district that you will notice, feel free to to reach out. All in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. Moving on to section 7, communications from the city manager. 7.1, motion response A, dog park. Councilor Belanger.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate the response from DPD eyeing potentially Fort Hill Park in Belvedere as a potential dog park in the future. So I appreciate the research and the hard work. Thank you.
Motion response B, letter to state delegation, backup power generators. Councilor Janess and Getchia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate the response. Reached out to the manager the other day. The letter that came didn't reflect the amended motion that we had made on the floor. We talked about alternatives, and the letter specifically talked about hydrotreated vegetable oil, which has some challenges in and of itself. So if there are other alternatives that can be explored and encouraged by the state legislature, I think we should make a point to encourage them to look into that as part of this letter. Not to write off HVO. I think it has a part to play, and there might be an opportunity there, but I don't want to limit the scope to just that, where we talked about larger options. So I'd like to make a motion to send that back.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through the council. Council, you can send it back, or I can have Mr. Machado speak with you directly if it's okay with the council. Add those pieces in and send it out sooner rather than later, or however you want me to do this, to make sure that we're hitting all the marks that you want to hit.
Where I have had a couple people reach out to me about it, I would like to send it back just so it goes through the full process, and it's going to be on the next agenda and all that. So,
yep.
Thank you.
7.2, official reports, commercial vacancy ordinance. Mr. Manager.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Ms. Rose.
Ms. Rose, all yours.
Apologies, I was looking.
Thank you. So this is just a quick informational to update the councilors on the vacancy ordinance, the commercial vacancy ordinance that this council passed, to give you a sense of how it's been going. When we had initially talked about this, we discussed the fact that, there are a number of properties in the city that could qualify under the program the way it was written, and given capacity and trying to kind of work the kinks out, we decided that we would take on a phased approach approach. So our Economic Development Office worked very closely with the department, with the building commissioner and development services to identify a priority list of like immediate priority locations to do outreach to. And as we expected, we've had a mix of reactions. So we had a couple that, paid their fee and said, fine, leave me alone until next year. I kind of don't want to deal with this. We've had a few people that I think the ordinance and the language of it sort of lit a fire under people. And so we've had, as you can see from the informational itself, we've had folks do work to their properties to get them open again as commercial locations. We've had people turn over property, move forward with a sale of the property that they had been sitting on for a while. And then we had a bunch of people that came in and said, like, I want to sell my property, or I plan to sell my property, or I'm in the middle of trying to find a lease. And so what we've been doing in those situations are doing a case-by-case basis. And so economic development will get some communication from somebody. So for example, one of the waivers that we've given is for a property that's in downtown that we've identified as a priority that we'd like to see leased up. We basically explained to the property owner that, we've been dissatisfied with the state of the building, and they have taken a more aggressive approach with trying to actively lease the property. And so because we have been seeing that actual effort going towards trying to lease the property out, we're willing to work on a waiver with them. And so we are taking it very much on a case-by-case basis. Just because somebody's asking for a waiver doesn't mean they're getting them, number one. And number two, we are giving waivers that vary. So, some people have been folks that are negotiating a purchase and sale where we say, great, show us, prove that to us that you have a planned closing date, and we'll give you a waiver for 6 months when you plan to close. For other folks, it's more like you have 3 months to show us. We've had some folks come in and say, oh, we're in the process of trying to renovate this into housing. And we say, okay, well, if that's true, then you probably have an architect on board and you probably have some plans on board. So share those things with us, prove to us that that's real, and we'll consider a waiver. So we think that the program has been incredibly helpful in doing what we wanted to do, which is forcing commercial property owners to communicate with us very clearly about what their intentions are. And in that sense, we think it's been very successful. It's too early to tell how the next round is going to go, but in the informational, you'll see that we've already identified the sort of second priority list of properties. And again, these are being heavily influenced by the building commissioner and the folks in development services who are identifying properties that we need to pay particular attention to. So we think that this has been a successful program to date. We have had more activity as far as direct conversation with property owners for some of these properties than we've had, frankly, in years. And so at minimum, the fact that a direct line of communication between the city and these property owners has been forced into action through this new ordinance has been immensely helpful.
So you got Councilors Noon, Janessa, and Scott. Councilor Noon.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Assistant City Manager Giovanni Roses and Ali Carter for the report. I take this as some success because you have property owners that sat on properties for years and years and years, and now they do something about it. Either ask for waivers or put it on the market or do something, which is a great thing. So, I would ask that you, Assistant City Manager Giovanni Roses, to update the council on this, as you go about. This is the first round, and with some success, give it a year from now, probably even more success on this. So some of this building that have been abandoned for a long time, you're going to put to some use, and also at the same time too, see what we can do to help them in terms of grant and whatnot that available out there. Thank you.
Councilor Janessa.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I'd just like to say thank you to the administration and Ms. Baez-Rose, your team. The work that's gone into this ordinance and this program and getting it off the ground. I know it was a lot of work, and we're starting to see the results of it, and it's fantastic. It's so great to hear that, if nothing else, it's created the conversations that we've been trying to have with property owners for years and years and years about empty buildings, about buildings that aren't being taken care of. And I'm so happy to see this. I look forward to seeing where this goes over the next couple of years, but I think this is yet another point that people can look towards, to the work that this administration, this council is doing to inject vitality back into our downtown and our neighborhoods, our business districts across the city, to make it, to really help Lowell grow. And, you know, at the end of the day, this is going to increase our tax revenues once we have productive businesses or housing or whatever these spaces turn into, rather than just empty space. And so it's going to make a better city just to be around, things to look at, things to do, places to live, whatever. But it's also going to help the city financially in the long run. So thank you for your work on this. I look forward to the next update.
Councilor Scott?
Thank you. Just a quick question on this one. I saw that Boston and Cambridge have a commercial to residential conversion program where they're offering tax incentive, tax abatements for developers or whatever that are willing to convert properties. I was just curious if we had looked into that at all or considered that at all, that type of program, if we could look into it. Thank you.
Councilor Robinson?
Thank you. I'm glad to see that this tool, you're finding this tool is a positive for your team and for eco development. My only question with this, are we having conversations including the vaults with any of this? So if a property is part of this, are we able to kind of catalog the vault or get access to the vault locations? Because I know that's a work in progress, and it's going to take some time to really get a good grasp on what our vaults look like in the downtown, especially.
Mr. Manager?
Councilor, yes, we have been working with the vaults, and it's somewhat frustrating at times, and financially, it's a major financial burden. So we are looking at innovative ways to try to get it accomplished. We're working with one right now, 45 Merrimack Street, which I believe, and I'd like to say that they may be our test case as to what's happening. They have a very extensive vault on the front and the back side. We're getting a real understanding of the dollars and cents for the compact, the flowable fill, et cetera. And then, because of course, we want to have, gleaming sidewalks, right? But we need to get the partnership, and it is coming slowly but surely. I think we've made a lot of progress, considering we've been talking about vaults for a decade plus. We're making progress, but it is a financial burden it'd be a financial burden to the city. We're trying to work directly with the developers to get that accomplished. But it's a hugely complicated.
Huge undertaking, I can imagine.
It involves, they own all the underneath, but it involves the front facades of some of the buildings. So we just can't go putting flowable fill in there, because that would go into the basement. So we need walls, et cetera, like that.
And my question was more geared at, as far as solidifying vaults, that's a whole separate challenge. But my question was, as we identify and have these conversations with these property owners, are we at least able to, if they say, hey, I'm looking to do A, B, or C, and look for a waiver, part of that waiver process is, hey, well, by the way, we need to access your vault in order to catalog it. So that way we can get a good, thorough map of what we're up against before we start going into the phases of filling in and solidifying. I could only imagine the headaches involved with that. Thank you.
We're moving on. Mr. Manager, you want something else? Okay. All right. Information report, front right of the city. Ms. Baez-Rose.
Thank you. So this was just a quick informational to sort of let folks know kind of where we are in this process. Remind folks that, we had a very successful visit from representatives from the UEF. this summer, and that sort of generated an immediate next step on our part, which is going to include several folks from the city administration and the council traveling to Geneva to the United Nations in order to announce it's our first opportunity at a global location, really, to announce Lowell as a front runner city and meet with folks to talk about Lowell. So it's an opportunity for us to bring our city kind of global, to meet folks that are interested in sustainable development and urban transformation. And so it'll be an opportunity for us to meet with hopefully people that will want to partner with us in the future as we move this forward. And it's another opportunity for us to represent the city on a global scale. So we're really looking forward to that. We are still in the process of, we don't have the final draft yet of what the full agenda is, but it looks like we'll be in meetings all day Monday and possibly all day Tuesday while we're there, in order to meet folks that represent private industry, obviously UN Habitat, more folks from the the Urban Economy Forum, folks that are involved with higher ed. And so I think it's going to be an opportunity for us to kind of take what we've done so far and introduce ourselves, have the opportunity to introduce ourselves to folks at the United Nations, tell them who we are. And then obviously I think the symbolism of having a delegation from Lowell being able to go to the United Nations and really sort of commit ourselves publicly to this program in this way is going to be a really exciting opportunity for us. And then I believe that the intention is that we use this as a jump-off point, which will lead to the UEF 7, which is in October, which again will be another opportunity to talk about Lowell as a front-runner city at the UEF's program in Toronto. That's going to happen in October. And so I think what we're seeing is that the visit this summer, us being able to go to Geneva, the next visit in October, will just be a number of kind of consecutive opportunities for us to continue to sort of push our agenda forward on a global scale.
Thank you very much. We have an accompanying vote not to go along with that. 7.8, communication for the city manager. Request approval for out-of-state travel for the manager. The Front Runner City Initiative Program presentation to the United Nations. The motion to adopt by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Mercia. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Also included the Lowell Police Department.
And the Lowell Police Department as well.
Council Mercia.
Yes.
Council Noon.
Yes.
Council Robinson.
Yes.
Mayor Rourke.
Yes.
Council Scott.
Yes.
Council Gem.
Yes.
Council Belanger.
Yes.
Council Chow.
Yes.
Council Dakota.
Yes.
Council Getchia. Council Janess.
Yes.
10 years.
I need a motion to accept and place on file the communications from the city manager by Councilor Janess, seconded by Councilor Mercia. All in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 7.5, communication with the nations of members of various boards and commissions. Motion to accept and place on file by Councilor Scott, seconded by Councilor Noon. All in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 7.7, communication, reappointments to various boards and commissions, which includes John S. Marshall III, Cemetery Commission. Motion by Councilor Mercia, seconded by Councilor Robinson to adopt. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Council Mercia.
Yes.
Council Noon.
Yes.
Council Robinson.
Yes.
Mayor Rourke.
Yes.
Council Scott.
Yes.
Council Gem.
Yes.
Council Belanger.
Yes.
Council Chow.
Yes.
Council Dakota.
Yes.
Council Getchia. Council Janess.
Yes.
10 years.
9, orders from the city manager. 9.1, order of 60-day trial with the full reading and second reading by title. Motion to adopt by Councilor Scott, second by Councilor Yem. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask a quick question?
Councilor Janess.
Thank you. Just on the Market Street LRTA request, I assume that's for the bus stop that's right there in front of the garage. Is it extending that, or is it just what's already marked on the pavement? Sorry for the surprise.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, through the council. That is not extending it. That I know of. I can find out for you, but that is not something that there would be an extension. That's not what they're asking for.
Okay. Basically just wondering if we're losing a parking space there or not.
No.
Based on what's marked on the ground.
It's a loading zone No, they're turning into a loading zone. Right. So
Bus
that,
stop becomes loading zone?
well, that bus stop was UMass Lowell's bus stop. And it's been there for a number of years. And we're trying to repurpose it to help the businesses in that area.
Okay, but that's a stop for the downtown shuttle on the LRTA route, isn't it? Or
It's
am
on the opposite side.
Okay.
This was, originally it was a UMass Lowell bus stop, right in front of Little Delights. Yeah, about on the right-hand side.
Oh, okay,
And
I
that hasn't-
misread. I thought it said Market. My bad.
That hasn't been utilized, that's the.
Okay, thank you.
Is that a roll call, Mr. Clerk?
Council Mercer.
Yes.
Council Noon.
Yes.
Council Robinson.
Yes.
Mayor Rourke.
Yes.
Council Scott.
Yes.
Council Yem.
Yes.
Council Belanger.
Yes.
Council Chow.
Yes.
Council Dakota.
Yes.
Council Getchia.
Yes.
Council Jeunesse.
Yes.
11.1, Public Safety Subcommittee report, July 22nd, 2024. Next meeting, Councilor. Thank you very much. Section 12, petitions. 12.1, claims, 2 property damage. Motion to refer law department for report recommendation by Councilor Robinson, second by Councilor Dakota. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion passes. We have 12.2, miscellaneous. Dominic Sampson requests permission to address the City Council regarding establishing a tool library to assist in daily living. Motion to accept and place on file by Councilor Getchia, second by Councilor Yem. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 12.4, miscellaneous, Ann Durso, project pop-up, request installation of an overhanging sign located at 51-57 Merrimack, Market Street. Motion refers to the law department for report and recommendation by Councilor Getchia, second by Councilor Chow. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 12.5, once again, miscellaneous, and Durso, project pop-up, request installation of an overhanging sign located at 262 Merrimack Street. Motion refer to law department for report recommendation by Councilor Jeunesse, second by Councilor Mercer. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. Any announcements? Motion to adjourn by Councilor Getchia, second by Councilor Robinson. Good evening.
All right.